welcome to episode 30. We've already lost Matt Leavitt. He is leaving the show. We're going to watch WrestleMania 19, which was live from Seattle, Washington, March 30th, 2003, the day of my 18th birthday. Two of us were there, myself and Brandy. This is going to be a fun show. With me, as is the usual, Frank Bruno, Brandy Wagner, the aforementioned Henry Evingham, Carl Mandick, and back from saving the world for at least 3 hours, Matt Leavitt will be joining us today. Also, he's got a lot of stuff going on, including some charity auctions and things. We'll throw to him later to get all that in. So go to your Peacock.
Go to your
19.
cock.
Go to your cock. Give it a little tickle. We're going to, WrestleMania 19, we're going to start at 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 46 seconds. HBK and Shawn Michaels. I just said HBK and Shawn Michaels. HBK and Y2J. There we go.
So before we get into the show, I thought I'd share some of the memorabilia from said WrestleMania experience. My mother took me for my 13th birthday. So this is a coffee mug from the Bacon, Bagels, and Biceps brunch that we got to go to.
That's really cool.
I have the official WrestleMania program, which is this is just the matches that are on the show.
I do have that.
And then this is the official Raw and SmackDown program for the year of 2003 that I purchased at Access.
I think I have those.
And then this is my keys, but I have the lanyard from Fan Access, which was sponsored by one dial it down the center 1-800-COLLECT for call AT&T.
Those were the days.
How did the naming process go for that brunch? Do you think it was a bunch of people in creative that got down and they're like, all right, everybody, we got to work on the brunch. We've got now until 10:15, so let's do it. All right, Steve, what do you got? Terrible idea. Linda, what do you got? No. Stacy. Bacon.
Bulges and breakfast.
Biceps.
Bacon, bagels, and biceps.
Biceps brunch.
I believe what they were going for was...
B cubed? Is that what we're doing?
I believe they were going for, it's wrestling and it's brunch. Let's make it a wrestling brunch. So we've got bacon, we've got bagels, and we've got biceps.
Yeah. We've got biceps.
It's called alliteration, motherfuckers.
There is that also. Bulges and satin for breakfast? Is that what we can call it?
Bulges and butt cracks. Bulges, Bastion Booger, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, I was, before we start the show, I was watching an episode.
Harry Bam Bam Gordy.
I think it was 95. And I actually tweeted about this because it was that weird to me. It was a tag team match involving the Smoking Guns.
Please tell me
were on the
Executioner.
No. So it was Bart and Billy Gunn against Bam Bam Bigelow and Bastion Booger.
Oh my Lord.
God.
Oof.
Bam Bam Bastion, Bart and Billy.
Sexy.
Oh my gosh.
Sexy.
Bart, Billy, Bam Bam, Bastion.
Right
sexy,
after that, Bastion
sexy.
and
That's
Bam
all we
Bam
do.
serves.
If you need a bad bitch, I can call a few.
There you go.
Wow.
Bastion actually would start a feud with Bam Bam over the love of Luna, and then Bastion Booger would be gone for the company. Not too much longer after that. So, what do you say we start the show?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get it on. Starting the show.
Let's watch some not Bastion Booger. We're gonna watch Chris Jericho. I'm really sad now. I never got the chance to watch Bastion Booger with you guys. Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels, 102.46. And 3, 2, 1, play. Here we go. And I don't know, is this Undertaker still to come in this show, right?
Correct. Yes, that's the next match I want to say because I flipped through my program.
You're lucky that we can't track it because my sounds like dog shit when we try to do that. But
so for the record, I'm tracking Target Guiding Wind to rescue Lord Shimura in Act 1 of Ghost of Tsushima.
He's got that right.
The best part of that
Zoom
is I'm listening to him say that, and I'm watching Jericho walk down to the ring, and I'm like, this sounds like it could almost be plausible. Until he said what he was actually doing.
And I'm drinking Camus, so I
Enjoy it.
I was up against the handrail here a lot, right there, right at the bottom of the ramp. So I was before the turn though. But
well, now I sound like a dick because you were at this one.
I just said that.
And I'm on the far, yes, on this side right here where the Kellamania sign is. I'm back here about 15 rows back.
Not gonna lie, that rail looks like if somebody said, remember the time the person died at the Who concert, or persons, if somebody's like, yeah, somebody died, they got pressed like at WrestleMania, and I'd be like, yeah, that looks insane. I mean, like, it looks like people are on top of people, because even at 30, you don't see that type of aggressive nature of over the rail and like 4 on top of one another, like piggybacking each other.
I can't tell you just when I was there and he came out on the stage. I think I almost died.
I still have pictures of most of the guys coming up for their entrance, including Right to Censor, because they were on Sunday Night Heat.
Yes, they were on Sunday Night Heat, and then the RVD and Kane match.
I did too.
Was on Sunday Night Heat.
There was an RVD Kane match. The Dudley Boys. 2 of these don't work, by the way. I remember that vividly.
No, they don't.
The Dudleys were on Sunday Night Heat. RTC was. There was a singles match too. I want to say Buchanan was in it for some reason.
Is it odd that Johnny B. Bad just left a bunch of crap around the ramp?
Like,
oh, look at this! Hey, thanks, Johnny. Oh, this is confetti gun work. Let me see.
So
boom! That one didn't work.
Oh, see, he cut away. I think I was. Oh, I'm on the other side, but I think when
it doesn't work either. God dang
the one before that one went off, they cut away to Chris, and I think I was standing right there. I mean, I'm in a Big Evil shirt, so it's not. I'm pretty easy to spot.
that girl taking a picture would have got blasted in the face with confetti. Had that gone off,
I will tell you a funny story.
She would have got annihilated.
For the Austin Rock match, we watched later. My cousin Dave was a big time Austin fan. I was not, so we were taking turns, like going to the ramp. So I was like, "You go for Austin, I'll go for Rock." I didn't go for Rock anyway, but you go for Austin, I'll take pictures of the entrance or whatnot. So my cousin David comes back after Austin comes back, and he's like in tears, laughing. I go, "What happened?" I go, did he acknowledge? He's like, "No." He was walking up, and he was like, "We're not dicks, so we're not shoving our ways through the front." He's like 2 or 3 rows back by the ramp, and he goes, some guy like shoved him from behind and like didn't apologize for it, just being a douche, and like shoved his way to the front. So this guy had a backwards baseball hat on. He walked up to him and just like knocked his hat off. So actually, if you watch the Austin entrance, I believe the hat's in the ramp. Like they cut back behind him. The hand's there. And he like knocked his hat off, and he said the biggest red fro just like unfurled out. I go, "What happened?" He goes, "He just looked at me, dumbfounded." I knocked his head off.
That's fabulous.
So it's really weird.
I did make my way up to the entrance ramp once when the Undertaker came out, and I actually got to touch his motorcycle.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because we disagree with the Limp Bizkit thing, but I will say
Limp Bizkit entrance
sucked. Undertaker.
Interesting fact: Trent Reznor was signed to the same label as Limp Bizkit and sued them like sued the ever living shit out of them because Resner actually owned a piece of it in order to get out of the contract to make the Downward Spiral.
Did he sue them because they put them on the same label as Limp Bizkit? Because I would have sued for that too.
No, like Durst I'm pretty sure Durst owned a piece of the label.
Oh.
There's Mike
Oh
Kolb.
shit, Mike Kolb.
Mike Kolb wandering around Crown Point, Indiana. What's happening,
What
buddy?
is up?
We're just watching some HBK and Y2J right now.
Is Frank in his HBK pose?
Oh, I wish.
Oh no.
From the waist down.
Oh, there
Frank,
you go.
Frank, can you repeat what you just said?
No.
The title of your sex tape. Boom! You got one in.
I knew you asshole.
What's happening, buddy?
You know, just wandering around my house with, as if you couldn't tell that I'm doing that, with this little monster.
Oh, look at the guy.
Oh,
We just-
Matt.
How's the baby
just
and
had-
the missus?
Good. Baby's breastfeeding right now, and family and friends just left. So, you know, I had to come in here, and, you know, I hear it's somebody's last official show as host.
This is true. It's Frank.
What?
Oh wait, no,
What?
it's me.
What?
Frank will be the host. That's
What?
right.
I'm so confused. Did I get fired already?
Again, title of Frank's sex tape,
Oh,
volume 2.
God. Christ.
You know, I had this whole
got
plan.
fired again.
I had this whole who? I don't recognize that voice.
Who dat? Who dat?
Hold on.
Who?
Let me go
Who?
through this list here. See Henry. Oh, it's Carl and Matt
Oh,
Levitt.
It
Oh
is.
my God, it's Matt. Last time I saw Matt, he didn't have any clothes on.
Oh my God.
What's this now?
But when he
Nabs
didn't have
laughing.
clothes on, he was still drinking the sexy wine.
I like it. I had every intention though of coming onto this Zoom and reciting the Rock's portion of like the WrestleMania 30 monologue at the beginning.
Oh my God.
You know, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, I just couldn't remember it.
Well, I mean, that would have been great, except for watching 19.
Thank you, TJ, for 30 years of WrestleMania moments
That makes more sense.
at the Silver Dome.
That was hope.
Oh.
That was a slap.
But
Hello.
all
Mike,
seriousness,
Mike, do you remember that? Did your dad react? Did you react to that?
absolutely,
Everyone reacted to it.
absolutely.
It was one of the biggest pops I can remember.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a blast. How far into 19 are you guys?
1 hour,
HBK.
11 minutes, and 10 seconds. We're at HBK Y2J.
And
I'm
what's
in
the
the
total
act
runtime?
Ghost of Tsushima.
What's the total
3:57.
Okay, I will definitely be back. It's 6:29. Maverick goes down in about an hour. But I wanted to make sure I got back on real quick and just said something nice for TJ, mainly because he paid me to do that. So,
Venmo. All the
ooh,
kids are-
actually, I do owe you money
you do.
because
Oh,
we
that's
sold
right, 'cause
those
it's
tickets for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah, see?
stupid thing.
And title of Frank's Sex Tape, Volume 3.
Hey,
Jesus,
geez.
this my
Volume-
sex tapes.
Volume 3. Volume 3. Like it's.
And then, real quick, just so you guys can see, the missus is now being pulled around.
There she is.
Chirp,
She is real.
chirp, chirp, chirp.
Oh, she's like,
chirp,
no!
chirp, chirp, chirp.
Hey, they want to see a baby.
Oh, there's your babies. Oh my
You want a
goodness.
baby.
Oh my God.
Oh, baby. So beautiful.
My wife or the baby?
Oh, both.
Yes.
Frank,
Accurate.
do not try to get another sex tape reference in here. That is
What I
inappropriate.
don't get is how if
Trying
he's
it
only
out.
lasting 30 seconds each time, how you can constitute more than one tape out of that.
That title of Henry's Sex Tape Volume 1, 30 seconds.
30 seconds of clip.
Wood Paneling, Volume 2.
All
With
seriousness, guys, I'm going to make my kids some dinner, put them down. I'll be back in about an hour. If I, for some reason, don't see you and my wife begs me to spend time with her and snuggle up with her on the couch, which I don't foresee that being the situation because she's probably sick of me today, I will see you guys there. And hell
Yes,
yes,
sir.
TJ. We're going to close this one out on a high note.
I got a bottle of whiskey rating right here, so this could be fun.
I got a bottle of Angel's Envy here that
Me too.
Carl Mandick brought me. So
You unoriginal prick. I've got one too.
well, thank Carl
Not
Mandick.
you, Carl.
I know. All right, guys. I'll see you soon.
See you, Mike.
Okay.
Point in fact, we don't actually get the Undertaker match from where we started.
Oh, damn.
No,
I had to
No,
look
that
it
that
up.
was the opener.
No, it wasn't the
No,
it was
opener.
not.
It was the third match.
that
on
was
the
Matt
card.
Hardy and Rey Mysterio. Open.
It was the
Oh.
second match on the card.
Can I get a time check, please?
1:13, 28, 29, 30.
This is 19.
19.
Yes.
So is Matt Hardy Rey Mysterio the era where he was doing the
Cruiserweight.
cutting down to 205?
Yes.
Version 1.
He had just recently given up
V1.
on the banana juice, and now he and Shannon Moore are big into tea bagging. They love to drink their tea.
Mhm.
Yeah. Could you just let me know when you get to 115 even?
Okay. Oh, you already messed up.
Yeah, of course.
Efren's gonna kick your ass
Of course.
because you can't keep time to save your ass.
Efren can spank my ass.
Oh,
He would love that.
I'm going to text him that because I'm getting with him after this show's over.
Yeah, we're playing Scrabble afterwards.
Awesome.
Lucky
Now,
bastards.
now, Frank, do we give him a peek behind the curtain?
Well, let's get to 115 even, then we'll do that.
You got 30 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead. Give him the quick peek there, Carl.
Whose curtain are we peeking behind?
Hopefully not mine.
My meat curtain, baby.
So Frank and I, unreal. Like I honestly tried to be non-sophomoric. We played Scrabble.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 115.
Cool.
Continue.
ahead.
All right, I need to go. see Samurai.
Frank took care of me.
On Scrabble?
I would say pretty he beat me. If we were played 10 times, he beats me 7 out of 10 times. Put it that way.
Did
only
he
person
beat
in
you
this
enough
room-
that you're gonna wear a fucking belt?
No.
Well,
I
what's sad,
did, and
Brandy,
I
is
had
he
a
wore
belt on.
He wore a belt, and I still saw way too much of his underwear.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
The only person
Yeah.
that legitimately scares me in this room in
Scra-
Scrabble is Matt
it-
Leavitt.
Scrabble is
What?
no,
Definitely.
hey, Frank, is it much harder than you think it is?
Stop.
Yes. Yeah,
It is way harder.
I will whip your bitch asses in Scrabble. Except for Matt.
Look,
I like
I
the
had
challenge,
I had so much confidence going into it
Oh,
that
triple word score the shit out of you. How
I
did you get there on the board?
When-
Refrigerator,
hey.
asshole.
Frank, as soon as I got vertebrae, I thought it was over.
You got vertebrae on Scrabble?
Yeah.
How the hell did you do that?
It's like
It-
it's
it-
Scrabble,
it-
like the game show Scrabble,
No,
not the.
Oh.
Not, it like remember the game show?
yes.
Yeah.
The Chuck Woolery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch that one because
Can I admit something to you guys?
Yeah, of course.
Scrabble was my favorite game show.
oh,
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I, loved
I
that show when
I
was a
don't
kid.
I think it's up there in top 10.
I'm creating a
Then-
game show called Twinkle Twat.
That's why you asked for my highlighter.
Volume 6.
That's why you asked for all my glitter.
Yes, I did.
What what does Twinkle Twat entail?
Oh, just bedazzling the vajayjay. It's
It's
a
not
whole
a game
thing.
show. It's a reality show.
Oh, it will be a game show. It'll be a game show.
Is this going to be
You
like
get-
one of those weird Japanese game shows?
Henry,
Hey, Henry,
gotta-
easy. That's racist.
no. Henry, I have to tell you, my friend said watch this YouTube video, and I watched a YouTube video, and it's a game. It was a game show in Japan where you had to see how far you could sing a song while a girl is giving you a bajayjay.
I want to be on this game show.
And
I think that sounds like fun.
then I'm not kidding. Like they literally have the guy. So there's this woman. She comes in. She gets on her knees in front of the guy, and then this curtain goes around like from his waist, or from like here down, and he's singing the song, and then he's getting a little squeakier, and then he's like, I said,
I pick her, and I pick the alphabet song. I will sing the shit out of
that. It was I was dying. I couldn't.
I just died in your arms tonight. Oh,
or
that was close.
I will sing Mosh Tequila.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
This has so we do an episode with Efren. He busts out into musicals and shit.
Yeah, I know, man.
Uncultured and stupid.
Oh yeah,
can we do Inagata Devita, like the 14-minute version?
No, we cannot.
I am uncultured and stupid. The only musicals I like are Fiddler on the Roof and The Lion King.
Oh my goodness, you're missing
Fiddler on the Roof's very good.
Well, I shouldn't say I like. Those are the only two I've seen. And I've seen Lion King 3 times.
What was the musical they made up in Team America World Police?
Oh, AIDS.
Everyone has AIDS.
Everyone has AIDS. Yeah.
We do?
No, it was Rent. Well, it was Rent, and it was called.
It was a parody of Rent.
Yeah. It was called.
Which is La Boheme.
The Popa's got it, and so do you.
Yep.
Yeah, and My Dog Blue.
Come on, everybody, we've got quilting to do.
Yeah. My Dog Blue. The Popa's got it, and My Dog Blue. Everyone's got AIDS.
AIDS.
School, my favorite is still Phantom of the Opera. You cannot top that. You cannot top Phantom of the Opera.
Can I tell you a real story? This actually happened to me. When I was 15, started dating this girl named Jessica. We met on AOL Instant Messenger. And she lives in a very affluent part of Northwest Indiana called Dyer, a gated community. Her dad was an executive for BP. And then imagine me pulling up in my 1987 Pontiac Bonneville with 3 of the 4 doors getting ready to fall off in this neighborhood. And she legitimately thought, I'm not, again, I wish I was making this up. I'm not. This is all 100% accurate. She thought I was the Phantom of the Opera reincarnated.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord.
And we didn't get much longer.
Those who have seen his face.
We didn't date much longer after that.
I think it's time to put my dog out.
Oh, Frank just leaving while we're telling secrets about each other.
Yeah, well, Frank's irritated with Lloyd Webber, and so am I.
Lloyd Webber.
My other favorite is Cats.
God damn it.
I have never been to a Broadway
musical. Cats that pops.
This is the most animated I've ever seen, Matt. And of course, it's the episode we're discussing musicals.
I don't know if it's supposed to pop. It's telling a story.
No, it's not telling anything. It's a T.S. Eliot poet. Fucking goddamn abstract bullshit.
Why did you turn the...
It sounds like it's better than the movie.
Matt, at your current state, you're still aware that when you said that your father, your loins did choral music, you do realize that, again, that I thought it was Under the Sea. I thought it was The Little Mermaid.
He has a full arrangement of Cats, mind you. Like there is 11 soprano, alto, tenor, bass of memory, which is the only song worth a fuck in the entire show.
It is the best song, although Rum Tum Tugger is fun.
No, the entire musical is trash.
My Lord.
My favorite thing right now is Drunk Matt Leavitt rating musicals is turning into an Adam Sandler parody of an old man.
I want to throw him a football right now. You fucking whiz that one in there, man.
So we got Roger Staubach. Got Roger Staubach over here.
Ooh. Well,
I've got no easy baskets. No easy baskets.
Nothing. I'm at Walls of Jericho. I don't know.
Walls of Jericho, yes.
But Charles Robinson just sold Chucky 122, 58, 59, 123.
God, that stadium looks beautiful.
It is. It's a lovely stadium.
You know what's funny too is, we've heard stories about them dressing up like the Orange Bowl and the LA Sports Coliseum, stuff like that. They didn't do shit to Safeco.
They didn't do shit.
Nothing. Now, I believe Safeco Field was 2 years old.
This is on home mound. Yeah. All I know is that this is on home mound.
Yes. Yes. And there is I will put this on Twitter so everyone can look. But there is a map of how they set things up in the back of the program.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that.
So the ring is in the center on home plate on the mound.
Oh, it's on the mound, or it's on the
mound.
It's on the mound.
The center of the ring is over the mound. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. And the ramp came in kitty corner. And I was back in this green section right here.
If anybody saw this layout, it's exactly that of Royal Rumble Phoenix. It's literally.
Let me ask a logistical question here, because this is what throws me off. So when I did watch the opening match, and when Rey Mysterio came out, he ran across the stage, and there were people in the upper deck behind him.
Yes.
Like over the stage. How in the hell did any of those people see anything?
There's a screen.
They didn't. There was a screen above us.
Above the ring.
So they pretty much couldn't see the ring. They had to watch the screen.
Correct.
I would guess. I don't know that.
But those were the $25 and $15 range tickets.
Oh, they don't.
I get to go to
anymore.
WrestleMania, but I'm not going to be able to see shit tickets.
The those seats don't go for $15-$20 anymore.
No, they don't. Like where I was sitting in the green section, which is right behind the section of people with the chairs you can take home. Our tickets were $100.
Mine was
on the floor. Tickets were $100.
Those were between $3,000 and $15,000.
All I'm going to say is watch Dallas have extremely high standing room only tickets, because one thing I learned from there was that with how big it's not even a jumbotron, it's like this four-sided, you guys got to understand that like 20 feet of a monitor is one thing, but these are it's 100 feet of monitor going around. So it's like, I asked my brother when we were there, I said, could we have seen this just as well if we were standing? And he goes, yeah, we could have. And I go,
stand for 8 hours?
Not stand for 8 hours.
At least 16 hours.
I just saw a sign, by the way, that said "You are butt."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just wonder how those standing room only tickets are going to go in Dallas, because they have the availability. They have a mass concourse that can stand a lot of people.
Well, Pacquiao was there how many times, right? 3, 4?
Pacquiao was where? In Dallas?
In Dallas Cowboys.
It's 3 or 4. It's 3 or 4.
At Jerry World.
And he did like 98-ish.
Right.
For a boxing deal. And Mania's got sort of this international computation that Pacquiao doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, they might be able to sell it out.
Pacquiao sold 98,000 tickets.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
twice.
for the Timothy Bradley fight.
Holy shit!
Well, okay, Matt.
That's
my
amazing.
question, Matt.
Do you
my
have
question
any
is:
idea how many Filipino people who weren't even boxing fans were going to these events just to support Manny? Just to support Manny.
It's so Manny.
Manny.
Jesus Christ.
Not gonna be a nickname, by the way.
Nope. All right, Matt. Does WrestleMania hotshot this current Dallas with Roman and Rock, or do they hold it off for LA?
They should never.
You have to hotshot it immediately because Rock ain't gonna be around that much longer.
Thank you.
For the taking. There is no dollar amount. If we get 3-4 years down the road, there is no dollar amount that Lloyd's of London is going to insure him for to come back to wrestling.
I thought Lloyd's of London stopped insuring wrestlers.
Actors.
They insure actors.
So he has an insurance policy as an actor and entertainer.
See, that's why I think Dallas
and the films individually insure like against budget and profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
Once they're greenlit for filming, they insure against that. So like that was a big deal because Lloyd's would not insure Rock.
Mm-hmm.
After he had the big hernia deal, I think.
Was that with the second
29.
time? Right, 29. The second time against Cena, right?
If I'm not mistaken, yes. Right. But if I'm not mistaken, Lloyd's of London pulling out from insuring wrestlers was a large deal because of Kurt Hennig.
Correct. No, I'm sorry. I stopped thinking that we were not talking about wrestlers anymore. We're talking about a Hollywood actor. So.
Who sent me that?
I did.
Are we in a baseball stadium? What the fuck is that?
Yes, that's a baseball stadium. That's the Safeco Field layout.
Well, that's terrible.
It's not.
Phoenix
it's actually
was
really nice.
Awful.
It's got a retractable roof.
If you're like me and you said
we do
roast in the ring, it was awesome.
Carl, I have to tell you, like just looking at the setup at Phoenix, I can imagine that it was. Anytime that your ramp curves like it does, like how do the people at the back end of the curve see anything?
Well, not only that is
the ramp was at center field, I believe. I think it was one of the bullpens.
It came right. It came out of the bullpen of the home team.
Minute Maid, they nailed it.
Right. They got it right. Yes. Thank you, Matt.
They actually got it right with Minute Maid because they had the wrestler entrances out of the bullpen.
By the way, this was a tremendous match. We just ignored it entirely.
Absolutely.
Who cares? I'm not watching.
Looking at the map, there's one bullpen that's visible, and that is off to the picture. It's off to the left of the stage.
Quit buying such expensive wine. Quit being a tight ass to get Peacock.
Or do what us people that sit in the underground bunker that's paneled like 70s basement do and still have access to the real WWE network. Fuck you, Peacock. Fuck you, NBC Universal. TJ?
Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Evingham.
Henry has the FBI about ready to come for him.
Yeah, but you should probably stop admitting that on YouTube.
But also, your slick back hair is legit. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah, I mean, Henry's giving me needs right now.
So I don't know
Henry is.
If you guys remember when we first started doing the show, I was bald.
Hmm?
I'm growing a mullet out.
Yeah, why do you have to, be that Midwestern cornbread fed kind of stereotype? I'm just joking.
First of all,
can I answer that question?
Yes.
What it is, Frank, is that TJ is going for his Billy Ray Cyrus look because he secretly plans, once his new podcast goes national, to become a country and western star from the 1980s, and it's going to be glorious.
I'm gonna Jeff Jarrett the podcasting world.
All right, rewind. Can I tell you something about moulets?
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
As someone who has analyzed a lot of moulets over the years, there's only one moulet one should aspire to, and that is the Jean-Claude Van Damme hard target.
Oh, I get it now. Moulet. I get it. I thought you were talking about sex with a cow. I got you.
No, it's a work thing. And my wife's not a fan that I'm doing it. But as I told her,
can we how much to perm the back?
Perm it.
What makes you think I wasn't?
Well, we do owe TJ a shaving, so we could just change it up a bit.
So you owe me a waxing. Oh,
that's what I meant.
See me, I believe
54,097. Now you should watch this part with audio because it is Howard Finkel announcing the attendance record.
Yes, no, I'll be flying through here in just a moment.
I'm listening to it with audio right now. It is not Howard.
Let's rewind.
Really?
What are we rewinding? Go ahead.
I need to hear about this perm.
Here's what I don't get.
I need to hear about this
match.
perm.
But we're watching a Limp Bizkit concert. No, it's not.
This is the Undertaker match.
No, it's not. That was the second match on the card.
This is the only time Limp Bizkit came out.
Or they could be unless they're performing the
Crack Addict.
Yes.
Which, by the way, was that song ever released?
Yes.
Who cares?
Which one?
Crack
Addict. And also, isn't Limp Bizkit a soft dick?
Yeah.
No, actually, it's a game where guys jerk off. Well, they stroke their dicks on a cracker, and the last person to go has to eat it. That's a.
I don't believe I'm about to say this, but the king of the game you just described, which is called Ookie Cookie, by the way, is here, Mr. Antonio Santos.
Ookie Cookie!
Oh wow!
Wow! I'm on fire today.
Time the hell on. You shaved.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
I'm weirded out right now. I'm weirded out right now.
I know. I'm weirded out too. I regret doing that.
It's cold.
It's all right.
Dude,
in about 12 hours, it'll be back.
Oh shoot, Matt's here. Oh my god.
Yes, and he's drinking.
Cero miedo.
There you go.
So again, Brandy, you and I had a disagreement about Limp Bizkit here in Seattle.
Yes, I thought the people were into it.
I did not.
No, Limp Bizkit by this point was repug.
Well, let's remember where we are too. This is Seattle.
Repug.
This is Seattle. This is Pearl Jam territory. Alice in Chains, STP, like
Nirvana.
They were not in the.
And they're in a fucking lawsuit with 9 Inch Nails at this point.
I didn't know that.
Oh, they were already. Oh, right. You talked about that earlier with Trent.
Oh, shit. Lawsuit over what? Oh, the Trent Reznor thing. You said that earlier.
Yes, it took me a second to remember that Trent Reznor was a part of 9 Inch Nails.
Was that before we recorded?
He is 9 Inch Nails.
Fuck.
So
welcome to Twinkle Twat, everybody.
So Matt has officially gone to VKM.
I do have a Fred Durst story if you guys would like to hear it. A local.
Yeah.
By the way, Carl, if I start quoting VKM, you'll understand what's happening.
You're loaded? Or you subscribe to Peacock, one or the other. So I had a football coach when I was in 8th grade. He was also the wrestling coach in middle school. His name was Brett Davis. He was in a metal band. Don't ask me the name of it because I don't remember. But they opened for Limp Bizkit in like probably before this. No, it had to have been before this. So this is like 98. So Limp Bizkit was starting to take off, but they weren't this level yet. And it was in Chicago. And Brett's band opens for him. They go backstage. And I'll never forget. He looked right at me and he goes, I walk backstage and he goes, I have my hand out because I see a Fred Durst. Because like, you know, the repartee is you like fucking high five or whatever. Thanks for opening for me. He goes, your band sucks, bro. And then my ex-Navy wrestling coach, football coach, knocked him the fuck out just before he was supposed to go on stage.
Jesus.
Oh,
so they
my
had to
God.
postpone the show while they revived Fred Durst after my football coach knocked him out.
He deserves. I've heard so many stories of Fred Durst being just an absolute douche canoe, like total
Brett
trash.
Davis is a large man. He cuts trees for a living.
Oh, I was wondering why you were talking about Bret Michaels. You're talking about Brett Davis. I got you.
Not Brett Michaels. He's like probably 6'3". He's probably every bit of 3 bills, and just tatted up. Like he's not. No, you don't mess with that guy.
And
you're
Fred
not
Durst
talking about Fred Durst right now, by the way.
Hell,
Fred Durst was dumb enough to lip off,
and he paid for it.
Oh, hell
Fred Durst owned a piece of the record company that 9 Inch Nails Trent Reznor was suing to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going, by the way. He's still going, by the way.
Which part?
Still with we're still at Limp Bizkit. 138, 35, 36.
Are they still going?
You know, as I was watching that impromptu rock concert, there was one thing that took me to a blast of the past. Because you see where the stage is, they have all these billboards that advertise different things. You can apparently watch the Seattle Mariners in 2003 on UPN Channel 11 in Seattle.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it's a weird blast from the past to see anything on UPN now, since they haven't existed in like 15 years.
In the Mariners jersey.
We have to watch the Miller Lite cat fight.
The Miller Lite cat fight girls.
Hey, Santos, where you at on this?
I'm not watching, but you said you're at the Limp Bizkit for Undertaker.
Yes. Well, no, it was after, but yeah.
See, I would have to say that this in the new era of TGT would be Antonio's rope shooting a moment of the show.
Absolutely, right, this would be.
Wait, the Miller
I don't understand why this is part of WrestleMania.
Yes.
The Miller Lite cat fight girls.
So, Henry, if you were not watching television in 2003, the Miller Lite cat fight girls were fucking huge.
Yes, they were.
They became their own phenomenon.
Well,
it was bizarre.
I can't jack off on here, so I'm good.
You also shouldn't on a public city bus.
Why? Everybody else does.
Yeah. They take a
Why
shit,
can't the driver enjoy himself?
Well, the show has left the station. And also, Henry, you still look like a serial killer.
He went from a human hairball to a human ball sack.
I love you so much, but
Lord,
your wood paneling is.
Hey, I didn't design the inside of this underground bunker.
Oh my! What is? See again. Now wait a minute. Okay, what's happening here?
It's Stacy Keibler.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, she does have legs for days.
I have to fix my light. I'll be right back.
No, yeah, okay. Fix your light.
Also, since we're now looking at Stacy Keibler,
I have to diddle my fiddle.
That's what I was.
Gotta diddle your riddle.
I just saw a sign that says "Pound Saddam."
We are actually. I thought this show was earlier, but we are. Hold on, I gotta look something up.
Also, Brandy, I don't know if you remember this, but my favorite sign I've ever seen was at this show. It was. I want to see if you remember it first before I say it. It was in the upper deck. Do you remember the sign I was discussing? I was talking about. It was huge. It was
I don't.
massive. So there was a sign, in the very top tier.
And
I think they showed it in the Undertaker match because Big Show was in it. But it had to have been 10 rows wide and then
Lord.
15 feet tall. And it was in the shape of a giant pair of tighty whities.
Oh, I saw that.
My God.
It said Big Show's underwear on it. It's my favorite sign to this day. Like, I don't know how you top
It's fantastic. That is fantastic. I don't know how you top that either.
Oh my goodness.
What's coming off?
Everything.
Oh, this is a rope shoot moment. This is rope shooting right here.
Now they're getting the pillows. Oh, she's rolling Stacy up with a schoolgirl, and
those stupid idiots are just
she's
hitting
gonna
each other with
spank
pillows.
her.
Oh Lord.
They're just hitting each other with pillows. It's so
And
dumb.
now the cat fight girls are taking their clothes off.
They almost just took out Jonathan Coach.
Titties.
Oh, well, then we just failed.
And now they're jumping on the bed. Let's rip our.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was buying food.
And I don't blame you.
They are now taking Coachman down, and they are rolling over top of him.
Now, how Coachman didn't get, a chub after that?
Who says he did not? He's wearing black pants.
He's wearing loose.
He's not anymore.
Pants.
He's wearing tighty whities.
Oh shit! He's wearing tighty whities. He got pants.
Okay, something is standing up and saluting. Okay.
Jonathan Coachman just lost the Miller Lite cat fight. Girls.
And that, my friend.
And he's from Wichita, Kansas.
Is he really?
Is he really? I didn't know that.
The pride of Kansas, Jonathan.
And by the way, is he still with WWE?
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't get. He hasn't been released.
I said they just hired Andy and but we just watched Jonathan Coachman get pinned by Stacy Cooper in a Miller Lite bed fight.
I can't wait to do those segments.
But yes, there was something.
I can't wait to hear him, Antonio.
Standing at attention. So, Frank, your theory is confirmed.
Well, the work of
Keebler might be the most legitimate, gorgeous person who has ever existed in the history of mankind.
That's
Carl
that's
go?
That's a big statement.
Well, he might have gone to the bathroom, and I hope he didn't fall asleep on the shitter again.
A shit, so he might have fallen asleep.
Things that happen on TGT. People fall asleep on the toilet.
No, I'm looking at two geese crossing the street in front of me like their shit don't stink.
Antonio, how you doing?
Two geese. I'm just sitting here watching some geese.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
That just reminds me, there's a scene in Aristocats.
Oh,
and it's two geese that are crossing the street, and they're just with their bonnets, and they're just crossing the street.
Oh, Matt, to answer your question, I'm doing great. I'm 5 months sober now.
That is a fucking an amazing accomplishment. Like,
yeah.
We're over halfway to 6 now.
Yep.
Good. Love you, brother.
Oh, trips.
Love you too, man.
So this match, which we're getting ready to watch, Booker T and Triple H, catches a lot of shit because it's not.
Oh yes.
Great.
Oh, I hated that.
I actually enjoyed this match. There was 2 matches I like. Well, I mean,
wait. Why does it catch a lot of shit?
People think it's racist.
Booker should have gone fucking over.
Oh, I see.
People think it's racist because he was.
This is what happens when you're married to and fucking the boss's daughter.
They're not married yet because they didn't get married till 2004. He's just fucking her at this point. But
it was
because he would say things like, "People like you don't get to where people like me are," and things like that. And people took it as
that's the after effect.
Yeah.
People think that it's saying a black person can't get where a white person is, whereas they were actually saying a WCW guy can't get to the upper echelon.
Well, we don't know that's true either.
That is what Bruce said what they meant.
Yeah, well, Bruce could be saying that after the fact too. Because quite frankly, I would take that as a black-white thing. The media.
Well, they've had several instances where they've said something.
It was going to be Eddie.
Yeah. Actually, this was
And then
supposed to be
Eddie
Scott
died.
Steiner.
No, Eddie's not dead yet. This is 03.
Oh
This is
no, it was Scott.
This is supposed to be Scott
It's
Steiner.
supposed to be Scott Steiner.
Oh, that's right.
The first two were terrible. Like
But they were like, "Oh wait, you suck. We don't want."
Didn't he have Didn't he have some kind of weird
part of this, right?
injury?
Yes.
Scott Steiner?
It's called drop foot.
Yeah.
It's also called severe steroid abuse.
Yeah.
What is drop foot?
I don't remember what it is. I'll have to look it up.
It doesn't sound like it feels that good.
No.
I mean, it's called you have a compound fracture and your ligaments don't repair right because you've done 32 years of steroid abuse.
Oh, I thought we were talking about that UFC guy last night.
No.
By the way,
that was just a nasty ass break.
Off the stream.
What?
Cutting off the stream?
Yeah. I didn't say that.
Okay. I'm not cutting anything out, so I don't know.
What did you say?
I don't want Scott Steiner to kill me.
Oh,
you're fine.
So
I'll
also,
say it.
He and
I
Triple
feel like
H just did not get along. Like they did not gel.
If Ric Flair is going to be at WrestleMania, Ric Flair should be in the ring, not Triple H defending the World Heavyweight title against
Flair
Booker
did
T.
wrestle somewhere on this day.
He didn't wrestle at WrestleMania. He's out here with Rick.
Heat.
He's out here with the game as his manager. Fuck that bullshit. If
Then
Ric Flair is going to be part of the biggest wrestling extravaganza of them all, he belongs in a fucking ring, not as a lackey to Triple H.
Look at this little shit.
Don't worry. In 5 years, he's going to be losing to Shawn Michaels this event. It's fine.
By the way, you really need more posters on your wall.
Who, me?
No, Henry.
Oh, to get rid of the
It looks so fucking like I'm gonna kill someone.
What the fuck?
This is why I have such a hard time making friends. Everybody sees the inside of this house.
They're like, yeah,
and they presume I have a hole in the
basement.
I do not.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad.
I mean, you have 1970s wood paneling. You have green shag carpet on the stairs.
Oh man, we missed Trish Stratus versus Jazz versus Victoria too.
We also missed The Undertaker.
Who cares?
Yeah, that match sucked. But we also
I was gonna say, who gives a shit about Biker Mark?
That match stunk.
I'm wearing a Big Evil shirt in this crowd.
That match was probably better than the Limp Bizkit concert.
Well, yes.
By 100 times. We also missed Chavo and Eddie versus Rhino and Chris Benoit versus Team Angle.
That was fun.
Can you dig it? Now, the thing with Booker is, again, it catches a lot of flack now. But remember, 3 weeks ago, this was Scott Steiner.
Yep.
This rivalry got thrown together at the last minute. And if anything, this feud actually gave Booker T, Daniel Bryan momentum. Because the audience, everyone was like, what the hell? Why didn't Booker T win this?
Yep.
Right. And the finish to this sucks, if I remember correctly.
This match wasn't terrible. So there was, outside of Lesnar, Angle, and Austin Rock, which everyone remembers, the two matches I remember vividly watching was Jericho Michaels in this one.
Oh, it's Henry's favorite referee. It's Nick Patrick.
It does seem weird that we're seeing a big title fight and there's no Earl Hebner.
Well, if he wasn't pirating shit.
He hadn't been fired at this point.
They're saving him for... who is the referee for Rock Austin? Was it Earl?
It might have been.
Or was it Mike? Kyoto. Yeah, I think it was Kyoto.
I think Hebner did Angle Lesnar.
He absolutely did Angle Lesnar.
So
didn't the rosters have their own referees by this point?
No, that's a sex tape.
No.
Those freaking geese give me the death stare right now.
Not for pay-per-views, but for regular shows, yeah, they did, or at least they'd make the referees
right after the Jericho HBK match, there was a SmackDown referee knocking on McMahon's door.
That was not a SmackDown referee. That was Sylvain Grenier.
Yeah, that was a story
wrestler, and that was how he got in. Is he was McMahon's crooked ref, but they only wore the blue shirts on SmackDown. Why he wore the blue shirt here, I don't know.
To point out that he was a crooked referee, maybe, and make that
I
obvious?
guess, because I haven't seen any ref wear anything other than a black and white shirt at this show, except for him.
I've mentioned this before, but I will clarify here for the show. As soon as I left Seattle from this show, I didn't watch wrestling again until 2008.
Oh wow!
Why is that?
It wasn't the show. I mean, I was starting to get sporadic viewing as it was here. It just wasn't interesting me as much.
Didn't you go into the military after?
Well, that was a year later. But I don't know, like it wasn't the same anymore. You know, I guess it was just my time. And again, when you go to a WrestleMania, and again, I will put this card up against any WrestleMania there's been. And when you watch this one and you're like, well, how does it get any better than that?
There's been some good. Hold on, there's been some good ones. 21 was really good. 22
I'm sure
was
I've
really
watched
good.
a couple Raws in there. I can tell you for a fact I did not watch WrestleMania 21 the next year. The next one I watched actually was the Flair retirement Mania. That was the next one I watched.
25?
That was 24. That was 08. I believe. Isn't that poster behind me? No, I don't have that. Oh, I don't have that poster up.
Jesus Christ. Sorry.
What happened? What happened?
The geese starting to fight each other after one was like looking at me.
Yes.
We got like WrestleMania like, here and Geesamania out there.
One of them must be trans. Oh, actually, I had a friend drive up to Rochester Friday night. And I told him, I was like, what do you plan on doing anything fun? Like, you're going to have to travel for anything in Rochester? And he goes, I don't know why. He goes, I have a hookup in the public transpo. I can get you.
I know where the good spots are.
He just looked at me and he goes, are you serious? I go, yeah, I know a bus driver up in Rochester. He goes, why?
Why? Just why?
And to clarify that statement, why he asked me why, it wasn't because I know a bus driver. He's like, why do you know one in Rochester, New York?
Why don't you?
Because they ad-free motherfucking shows.
Then I explained the scenario. He goes, oh, I mean, you're a dork, but okay. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Why is the ring bell and stuff right there?
Probably because of the way they had to set up
I see.
What do you call it?
Yes, what do you call it?
The way the ringside area is set up, the commentary team is not down here except for the SmackDown ring announcers and the Spanish ring announcers. But just the way they set it up, I just think that was where they had room to put them.
Yeah,
you know what it is they don't have that little cubby. You know how they created a cubby for them now?
They usually create a cubby, yeah.
Yeah.
JR and King are up by the ramp.
Yeah, because this is the era of the Raw commentators were up by the stage and SmackDown stayed by the ring.
SmackDown did more of the old traditional WWF style, where Raw was more like Nitro.
Were they trying to?
On my ringside.
Were they trying to make Monday Night Raw like Nitro by putting JR and King up by the stage?
I honestly don't know why they moved the commentary team there.
There were certainly, I mean, people can't ignore there were certainly some similarities.
Well, they moved the commentary team. They brought in Eric Bischoff as the general manager.
Yeah, that's exactly what was going on there, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
They brought back the old Big Gold to use as the world title.
There were some solid things Eric did with Nitro. Anyone that denies that's an idiot.
Absolutely.
He changed the game.
Oh, God, Triple H does a good spine buster.
He's no Arn Anderson.
No,
Again,
but that's clearly who we learned from. That's who he's emulating.
Yes, this is a very good match. It
Just
does
the
not
wrong
get
guy
the
went
credit,
over.
especially in short notice.
Oh yes.
But it does not. This match does not get the credit it deserves.
And
again, if this had this been a program, like an actual one, Booker T probably goes over here.
More than likely. Wasn't the finish fucked up here?
Yeah, there was a botch finish too. I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was either Triple H crawls over slow or Nick Patrick counts slow or something.
No, Triple H crawls to the pin slow, so it buries Booker T somehow. Listen, in the audience watching it, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't get it watching it either.
I thought these two guys have beat the shit out of each other, and that's the end of it. Like I think sometimes people try to find meaning in stuff that there's no meaning.
Right.
Or you just have general Triple H haters.
That too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is Triple H has never had a problem putting dudes over.
No.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
But just for some reason, everybody thinks he's got a shovel.
He was the one that really catapulted Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You could give the initial nod to JBL for sure, but Triple H was the one that took him to the next level. I mean, him, Angle, and probably Shawn.
Batista and Orton.
Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
DX and Legacy was huge. That put
yeah.
over.
I mean, they put over the Shield too, didn't they?
The Shield, yeah. That's the thing, but that's the thing. Triple H is not going to put anyone over. Whole different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they put male cheerleaders over, for God's sake.
They did.
Yeah.
Stuart Spot.
Just too bad this match is like so overshadowed by the angle.
By Brock almost killing himself.
Yeah.
Realistically, of the 10 matches on this card, we're watching the 5 longest. Of the 5 that we're watching, I'd say this is the second best match on the card. And I would say of the remaining match. No, it's not. But I would honestly have to say that I like Rock Austin better than I do at Lesnar Angle. And it's because I'm not personally a huge fan of Brock Lesnar. I love Kurt Angle. I respect him and the quality of the work that he does.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like Brock Lesnar.
Well, Austin Rock, you have that nostalgia to it. And again, clarify again for everyone that's watching this that my fan is hard to believe. No one in the stadium knew that was Austin's last match.
Absolutely not.
I didn't know it was when I was watching it.
I don't think no one knew.
People knew, but Austin knew, Vince knew, JR knew,
The Rock knew.
The Rock knew.
So that was like when Austin's doing his curtain call at the end, that's when it starts to be like, wait, what's going on? Why is Austin still out here? And then, well, I don't know what happened, but with Angle Lesnar, I think why it gets a slight edge for me in Rock Austin is because like they were doing superhuman shit in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That match was unbelievable.
It was.
And I mean, honestly, if Lesnar doesn't fall on his head doing the shooting star press, really the only thing that happened was Angle was too far away.
Yeah.
Wasn't that originally supposed to be the finish?
Yes.
It was, but he didn't hit it. He didn't hit Kurt. So Kurt made the call to keep it going because Brock was out. Like the lights were on and nobody was home.
Actually, I know for a fact now that was Kyoto doing that match.
Yep.
Because he talked about it on one of the mailbags.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it when we did the last watch along with him, that would be one we would want to do a watch along with him for.
Yes. So actually, now that I think about it, Austin Rock might have been Hebner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, it was.
Of the remaining matches on this card, we have the Hogan McMahon match. 6'5" pick 'em, take it or leave it. Rock, Stone Cold, and Lesnar Angle.
I shit my pants.
Yeah, nobody knew. Absolutely nobody knew who's going to be there besides Bruce and Vince.
I remember the fuck out when Piper came out.
Yeah, I remember. I was at the bar. Well, at the restaurant when they used to do it. The pay-per-views at the bar.
Yeah, they call them. In fact, one of my posters here, right here, the middle poster actually says on the bottom, "Official Blast Area." That's what you went to. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to that, and we were watching, and we see somebody in a black trench coat and a hat walking in the ring, and then as soon as he opened the coat, saw Hot Rod, that whole bar went nuts.
This wasn't even planned anything beforehand. I want to say Bruce said he called him that week, like 3 or 4 days before.
Vince wanted, if I remember the story correctly, he wanted a blast from the past to come back, and he was like, well, fucking Piper lives in Oregon.
Piper is like a few hours drive away, so he didn't. He just drove up from Oregon.
So you have the WrestleMania 1 connection. You have Hogan and Piper showing up at 19. By the way, Triple H here using the Indian Deathlock, which no one does ever anymore.
Oh yeah.
Hey, as you look at past the hard cam out into the crowd, second row in, there's a guy in a referee shirt, and I think he's waiting for his moment. Just to leap out the crowd and count the 1, 2, 3.
Wasn't that
not do that?
Regarding the Hogan McMahon match, that angle where Vince is crawling up from the ring, all bloody with the pipe,
and he's like accidental. He's like peering over.
Yeah,
that was completely accidental. They just caught that.
Oh, they did a good job catching it.
Iconic.
They did a really good job with that.
The Indian Deathlock was Triple H's original finisher as terrorizing in WCW.
It's like when you wear a girl out and then you crawl up on the bed like, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Oh, she's like, get off of me. And she's like, get off of me.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that a Tom Brady jersey in the crowd?
Oh Jesus.
Did we mention Randy Orton and Batista as guys that Triple H also put over?
Yep.
Yeah, I said that.
Shit, he put Benoit over.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to put Benoit over at the time. But I will say what really surprised me when going back and watching it now when Evolution first came, or not Evolution, the Revolution, or what were they?
Right, Evolution.
Benoit, Guerrero, and Malenko, the Radicals.
The Radicals.
When they first debuted.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember who Benoit's first dance partner was?
Triple H.
It was The Rock.
Really?
He was immediately thrust into the world title picture with against The Rock.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Fully Loaded 2000 when he was like Shane in the corner.
What happened to Carl?
I don't know. He said BRB and then he never came back from BRB. I'm assuming Matt Leavitt went to pass out or to get more of the fancy wine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
I mean, I have to say, you were right. I don't remember this match being as good as it's been.
It's absolutely way better than it's remembered for.
I mean, it's Triple H and Booker T.
Oh yeah, don't forget Triple H put over Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan,
Kevin Owens.
He tried to with Roman Reigns.
Oh God, did he try? He did his absolute best.
Tried.
No,
he tried. Bless him, he's tried.
The shovel thing. He didn't. He gets the shovel stigma because
there's a guy out in the crowd that looks like he's dressed like Jeff Jarrett.
Probably is.
But he gets the shovel stigma because he beat Sting.
Yes.
Yeah, that I disagree with. They should have had Sting have his one win.
I agree. I mean, that's one. Like, okay, yeah, probably. I will agree with you there. But to say Triple H never puts anyone over is ridiculous.
Yes.
I guess people don't like it when he doesn't, but don't recognize when he does.
Right.
They don't like to talk about the good things he does because that takes away from the narrative.
Well, let's just be honest. We've got NXT because of him.
Yes.
NXT has been like he took NXT from freaking stupid game show content to like probably one of the best brands, better than Raw and SmackDown right now.
Well, let's look at it this way too. Was he on the card for WrestleMania this year? No.
No.
You want to know why? Nobody wants to work with. I don't have to go out there.
No, he realizes that he doesn't need that. Other people can use and need that spotlight more than he does.
Right now, the only person that wants to work with Triple H was AJ Styles right now.
Right. You give him like, hey, Karrion, I know you're big on NXT. I'm going to go beat you at WrestleMania. Easily. He did not. Instead, we had to watch Bad Bunny for entirely too long.
Hey, Bad Bunny did good for being a celebrity and not being a professional wrestler. He impressed me.
Agreed. Yeah. And actually, Frank and Carl and I were talking about it in real time as we were watching day 1 and day 2 of WrestleMania. Outside of Bray and Randy, because that was garbage. I don't know what that was.
I liked it for the show, but not. Yeah.
Outside of that might have been one of the better WrestleManias they've had in over a decade.
Absolutely.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, TJ. What was it like to meet Frank and Carl in person?
They smell.
I imagine I'll probably find that out about Frank soon enough.
What the hell?
I'm biased as hell, but I think Frank smells sexy. So y'all are just missing out.
I'm sure that TJ's not going to come out and be like, "Yes, Frank smelled sexy."
He smelled sexy. You're right.
Oh wow.
We had a great time. I took him retro video game shopping.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was a great store. Game Changers.
Teabag Saddam.
Carl could not shower for 2 days, so that was fun.
Why?
Why couldn't he shower for 2 days?
Well, it was just
something with the hotel, right?
Yeah.
See, now guys, you got to remember, and I'm gonna bitch about this on the show, is I used to be the general manager of a hotel, so I kind of understand the hospitality aspect of things. I kind of understand the service aspect of things, and that particular hotel is going through a renovation. When you go through a renovation in a hotel, it is the most inconvenient thing in the entire world, and every guest is going to complain because they know they're going to get something if they do. The problem I had with the hotel was that they shut the water off at like 11 o'clock in the morning to like 6 o'clock at night because of some renovation. And they said to Carl, we notified our guests. Here's the thing. They never fucking did. They did. They gave us a letter that said we're renovating the hotel, but not once did they ever say no pool, no whirlpool, no no water at certain points in the time, like none of that stuff. So the communication was piss poor, and Carl could have went down to the front desk and got all of his money back for that. You got to communicate.
You know the one thing I don't get? You were spending so much time with TJ. Why couldn't Carl have just hosed off in the yard?
Exactly.
I did offer that. Also,
or use the shower.
Hampton Inn. I also offered that. Hampton Inn LaPorte by the toll road. Fuck you.
Well, now that I know that the Holiday Inn is over there,
yeah,
go there next time.
See, that's what I thought, because I take car. So there's this road in town that we lovingly call Hotel Road. But it's because
Ric Flair's trying to mount Triple H.
I think it's called Lakeshore. I don't know off the top of my head, but we call it Hotel Road because there's a Comfort Inn and a Holiday Inn across the street from each other. They're both.
Oh my god, they're both chasing each other.
Yeah, and they look nice.
And I was like, oh, so we're staying in one of these two? He's like, no. I go, what? He goes, I'm staying at a Comfort Inn. I go, or a Hampton. I go, where the fuck is there a Hampton Inn? I live here. I don't know what it is.
Well, DJ, I sent you a link, and you're like, yeah, that's a good one. It was Hampton Inn.
I thought the Comfort Inn was the Hampton Inn.
Okay.
I mistook the inns.
Holiday Inn, Comfort Inn, Hampton Inn.
I don't stay at a hotel in LaPorte very often. I live here.
Well, of course. Yeah, right. I get that. Yeah, I'd be concerned if you were staying in hotels.
By the way, the good match there, and the Harlem Hangover Booker T hit was ridiculous. And also, For those of you who were not paying attention to that match, which I don't blame you because we were having some very in-depth hotel talk, Booker T had Triple H beat in that match until Flair puts his foot on the rope.
Yep.
So Booker T has an out.
Imagine if you had a nightlight for the hotel rooms. Just look at the bed, see how much stains are there.
I would never stay in a hotel again.
Yep, no, me either.
I like to be in blissful ignorance.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I will tell you, I have seen and heard some very interesting things in hotels.
Like Jim Gaffigan said, the last guest surely only cleaned his elbow with his towel.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
I'm for 20
so
years
vascular.
And the funny part was from Hogan debuted in '84, so really we're only at 19 years in the making, but who's keeping track?
All right. On that note, I'll see you guys. TJ, good luck with your new show. I'll still be talking to you, obviously.
I know.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
You better be listening to the new show. You're gonna like it a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A lot of sports.
Nice.
We're all gonna be. When did you get the big gold?
I've had this now for like 3 weeks.
I didn't see it.
I love that Henry just pulls out. See, Antonio. I love that he pulls out random belts and just casually sets them on his shoulder without saying anything.
Well, you all were in the middle of deep conversation.
And you know what's funny? I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Now we're seeing footage from the steroid trial.
Oh my Lord!
Vince McMahon in a neck brace and a young-looking Linda McMahon.
Was that was the show Hogan Red and Yellow came back? The WCW picture the clip they showed. Oh Lord!
Oh, where he was. Oh, I'm a little behind you guys.
I'm a little ahead, I think.
I'm at. Let's do a timestamp here. I am at 2:12, 24, 25, 26, 27.
Yeah, I'm like
Aretha Franklin.
Miss Aretha.
He's stabbing him with a pen.
So I was never a Hogan guy, but for whatever reason, here in 03, I was in. I don't know why.
I went nuts when he won the title.
I did too.
Went nuts with that.
Wait a minute, he's going to win the title in this match?
No. This match.
Man, I hope somebody told Triple H that.
He beat Triple H with Vengeance?
Backlash.
I think it was this year.
It was.
Yes.
No, not 03. It was 02.
Oh no, it was 02. It was the year before.
It was the last recognized World Wrestling Federation Undisputed Champion.
Because it was
after the first recognized World WWE Champion.
Right.
They still have that contract, that bloody contract in WWE vaults. It's all brown and crusty and shit now.
Brother.
Disgusting.
That because I always say because I was at the I've said this before. I won't keep getting it, but I was at the first WWE.
I wish
Raw.
Somebody here could do a good McMahon because there's a part of me that wants to hear the thought process that Vince McMahon has to go through to convince Hulk Hogan to let him stab him with a pen.
That's stabbing with a pen.
I think I'm going to pay you X amount of millions of dollars for this match. I think that's
Have you seen your contract? Ass wipe. You're 53. You're welcome.
Say what you will about Hulk Hogan the person, but hold on a second.
Is he coming out to? What is he coming out
Child.
to?
Real American or is it Voodoo Child?
No, he comes out to Voodoo Child here.
Maybe it's me, but when he comes out in the red and yellow, I don't. Maybe it's just because it reminds me of my childhood before he broke my heart when he joined the NWO with those crappy wrestlers, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. But I get nostalgic when I see him in the red and yellow.
Oh, I do too. That's what
everybody does.
I vividly remember him coming out to Voodoo Child here. See, chop it down to the side of my hand. That's Voodoo Child. I bought a Hogan shirt at the show. I still have it.
Is it the one he's wearing?
No, just standard Hulkamania one. I would put it on, but it would be hilarious if I did.
I'm standing next to a mountain.
And I'm an extra large now.
Yeah,
I want his boa and his belt.
I used to be able to find on eBay. There was a pair of his Hollywood tights.
Wow.
The long ones here or the black?
Yeah. For WCW, like the black ones, and they weren't that
shit.
expensive. I don't know why I never.
See,
well, I know why I didn't buy
see what
them.
I mean? When Hogan gets in the ring, the referee is dressed up like he's on the other brand.
If I would have bought, if I'd have been on this show,
let me look at the referee and I'll tell you if that's Sylvain Grenier.
I probably would have bought.
Oh nope, that's Brian Hebner.
If I was doing TGT in 03 or like 2 years ago, I probably would have bought those Hollywood Hogan trunks.
How much were they?
And they weren't expensive, like $750
for
Mr. Hogan. Will you sign the crotch of your pants?
See if I can still see them. I doubt they're still on there, but for some reason, Matt Leavitt thinks he's embarrassed himself, so he left the show.
Oh,
I don't know why.
He was hilarious.
I've said far worse shit, far drunker than he is.
You have.
Yes, you have.
I'd say I was there, but I wasn't. You were just talking about the show I was at.
And here comes Vince McMahon walking down to the ring as only he can, with that broomstick shoved so far up his asshole that it's like a second spine.
So I found a pair. They're not like the leggings part. They're the trunks part you put over the leggings.
And
it's $400.
Wow. Holy shit.
Mr. Hogan, will you sign your crotch?
It is signed on the crotch.
Will you sign it again?
That would be butthole area where that's signed at.
Well, let me tell you something, butthole.
He signed it right. Is that Ron Reese? He signed it right on the right in the donut hole for you there, Henry.
The donut hole.
McMahon is absurdly humongous. Like Hogan, you could
steroids.
You look at Hogan like that's a big dude. McMahon, you're like, why is that guy so big? Specifically his traps. Like his traps are silly.
I mean, he to this day has a pretty vigorous workout, doesn't he?
Somebody explained to Brian Hebner that this is a street fight, right? So him yelling at Hogan not to hit McMahon with a closed fist is kind of pointless, right?
I'm really glad you brought that up because on AEW Dynamite last week, they had Darby Allin and somebody for the TV title in a Matt Hardy for a no disqualification, no countouts match for reasons no one knows because they have not been feuding before now. However, as Jim Cornette would point out, because during that, Matt Hardy starts off with a chair in that match and it starts wearing Darby Allin out and no one does anything about it. Even if it is a no disqualification match with falls count anywhere, the referee still has to pretend he gives a shit about the safety of the combatants in the ring. Just because it's no disqualification doesn't mean you get to just wear a dude out with a chair and the referee's just going to stand there just and wait for his turn to count someone out. So, yeah, act like you give a shit even though it's a no disqualification match or a street fight or whatever. And also, this match, McMahon and Hogan, warrants a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because these two aren't having a technical wrestling match.
Right. And they can't also for the matter.
Absolutely not.
Darby Allin and Matt Hardy for the TV title. Falls count anywhere, no disqualification. Why? What got us here? Why is this? Are we just doing this? Is this the hardcore title? What the hell's going on? And also, why are there 19 run-ins before the match is over? Well, that was my weekly shit on AEW. Thank you.
Vince McMahon for a second there was doing the old school rope-a-dope, albeit slow motion, and it was glorious.
And if people are wondering, on episode 31, I'm still shitting on AEW. I so desperately want them to be good. That's why I'm so hard on them. I want them to be good so bad. They have the talent. My God, they have the talent. And certainly when you have guys like Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Jake Roberts, Vicky Guerrero, like now you have Christian, Sting, like you have the backstage personnel to formulate a plan and make a coherent television show.
Yeah.
And actually start getting guys over. And they do not do that. Every week it's just chaos from front to back. No one's gotten over. Name me a guy that's gotten over outside of Darby Allin. He's the one. Somehow.
Yeah, I would have to say Darby is the homegrown, right?
Yeah, the one. It should have been Adam Page. They screwed that all up.
He's still pretty popular though. I love Adam Page.
Yeah, but popular and main event threat are two different things. Like Val Venus was popular, but never did you think how Val Venus was ever going to be the world heavyweight champion.
No, not
or the Godfather. But I saw there's preliminary plans for next month that the
no, that guy's dressed up like Ric Flair.
The AEW title match is going to be Kenny Omega and Adam Page. Well, you better hurry the fuck up, start building Page up.
Oh, you're talking about Double or Nothing?
Yeah, because right now he's a joke. He's with the
Dark Order.
The Dark Order, who is admittedly a comedy job team. And
well, they weren't. Yeah, I see.
He's riding around on lawnmowers. He's riding around on lawnmowers, getting ice cream. He's still drinking on television. Like, you better get going, getting him up, because right now, even as much as I don't like Kenny Omega, he's not on Omega's level. Like, how are you going to go from Jon Moxley to him just on a television presentation basis?
Well, let me ask you this question while Hogan does his classic test of strength here. Go back to the AEW title tournament.
Okay.
Finals were who? Do you remember?
It was Jericho and Page.
Right. Do you think Page should have won that match, or do you think? Okay, thank you. All right, because I felt that too. I felt that Jericho didn't need to be the very first AEW champion for AEW to succeed. Him just being there is going to succeed in some level.
I understand why they did it.
I do too, but I think that was their first mistake with Adam Page.
I thought it should have gone from Adam Page to Cody. After Cody did a heel turn. After Cody did a heel turn, but that's why I thought it would have been the first two.
I don't like that either, where like they had that whole match. Now Cody can't challenge for the champion.
They'll find a way to reverse it, but
they have but see, I mean, the whole Adam Page Kenny Omega tag team, I like that whole thing.
Yeah, sure.
I liked his participation in the Stadium Stampede match. I don't think I don't think what's been going on is shit. I just think I will agree with you, TJ. At this point in the power rankings and power struggle in AEW, from what we see on TV, Adam Page is mid card, and that's unfortunate because he shouldn't be.
Like, imagine for all of us '90s fans out there, imagine if Scott Norton headlined Slamboree for the world title. You'd be like, what? Why? That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing now at Adam Page. He's name a signature win. Name a signature match. Now, I just saw on Twitter the other day, they said the Young Bucks versus Omega and Page was the best tag team match of all time, and I wanted to vomit because it's not even close. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, I don't believe that. Right.
In a world that the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express exist, that's supposed to be the best tag team match?
Or the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs. I mean, come
Demolition.
on. Demolition.
We watched several matches between the Hardys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge of Christian.
Edge of Christian.
I mean, let's be honest. Owen Hart and British Bulldog were a pretty damn good tag team too.
Yeah, they were. But like, if I'm Christian in that company, and they're like, "Oh, this is the greatest tag team match of all time," I'm like, "Fucking what? Have you?" Seen that
right. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Hogan. His back was pretty messed up from the leg drop at this point, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, he is in so much
Hogan
pain.
does not make it much longer after this. Well, he does his own thing, the Australia thing, but I mean, he doesn't. As far as WWE is concerned, actually, I think Lesnar puts him out.
Yeah, that's the storyline.
Fairly close to this.
Well, then he has his little TNA run too. Late.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't watch TNA all that much.
Oh, I didn't either.
Did he wrestle for TNA a lot?
No, I don't want to think. I don't want to say he did very much at all.
I know he did sporadically. I don't think he did all the time though.
I mean, look at that chair shot. Shit.
Well, and again, here's a prime example of, like, when we say crowd psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan's here. He's got to be 53. McMahon's almost 60 if he's not 60 here.
McMahon was 60 at WrestleMania 22.
So he was 57 here.
Yeah, so I think
Hogan's got to be 53. They're close in age. I know that.
Do we want to play TJ's favorite game?
Yes, over under.
Over under. But like, neither one of these guys can move worth a shit in this match, but yet they have the crowd in the palm of their hand. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they make everything matter, and they have the crowd in the palm of their hand. They're not doing everything they can possibly do because they can. They're just playing the audience, and that's far more important of a skill to have than, like, oh, I can do a 450 at the top rope with a single jump. No one cares. No one asked if you can do that. Hulk Hogan. Let's see. This is 2003. Well, so I don't know. This is actually surprising. We'll do over under 51.5 for Hogan here at 19.
I'm going over.
Under.
Okay.
Henry?
I'd say under.
We got 2 unders and an over. Born August 11th, 1953. So he turned 50 5 months after this show.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? He's 49.
Yeah.
He's 49 and he can hardly move.
And it's so bizarre, like, a leg drop has now made him not be able to walk until you think about how many times he did that. An absurd amount over his career.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at least 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and twice on Sundays when they do a double shot.
Oh, yeah. You got to think, before he was in WWE, he was in AWA. He wrestled
in Japan.
Well, he was with WWF, wasn't he? And then he went and was Thunder Lips, right?
So it was weird. He was actually at the 1980 Shea Stadium show against Andre, but the roles were reversed from what they were at 3. So Hogan was the heel, Andre was the babyface.
In the cage, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The cage show, yeah.
I want to say there was another stop in between. Like, he might have been in Memphis for a cup of coffee, but I don't remember. But I want to say he was.
Sure, it wasn't Florida.
Well, he started in Florida.
And I just realized
that
Choke
him out.
Hugo Savinovich is busted open.
Has there ever been an announcer who's gotten his ass whipped more times than Hugo Savinovich?
I don't think so. Look at that Astros jersey.
Solid.
Goodness. Throwback.
I hated that Astros jersey in the time, but now I'm like, that's a beautiful jersey.
I'm still shocked that the announcer has color.
Is that Tito Ortiz?
Huh. Let me see. Take it back.
Go back to when they show McMahon's back.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't think it is though.
He just looks like him. I don't think that's him.
Right next to the Spanish announcer is a guy with silver hair.
Yeah,
right.
That's what, yeah. Oh, I see him.
Looks like Tito Ortiz.
He does look like Tito, but I don't think that's him.
I think that's Tito
One
Ortiz.
has to ask, why would McMahon do the leg drop off the ladder?
Wow. He did it pretty good though.
He did.
I'll give him that. But why?
Why are you saying why? Like what's the context?
That feels like if it goes horribly, horribly wrong, Mr. McMahon doesn't tear his quads 3 years later at the Royal Rumble when John Cena and Batista eliminate each other at the same time because he's in a wheelchair, and now they're carrying off Hugo Savinovich.
Do you not remember the St. Valentine's Day Massacre match between him and Austin?
Oh, that bump.
When he bent in half backwards over the table off the cage.
Oh, man, that bump.
Which I forgot. So
I'm still confused over how Savinovich got color.
He got hit in the head with a chair.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I always was confused because I'm trying to see that Tito Ortiz again. We're getting close to him.
I don't think it's him. I think it's too tall to be him.
He's got a doppelganger then, because that dude looks just like Tito.
A doppelganger?
But Vince is just like, what the fuck? I won.
I always wondered why at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, why when McMahon goes through the table at ringside, why he didn't win the cage match. Until I went back and watched it and realized they had not been in the cage yet.
Oh, that does make sense.
The end of the match, they were inside the cage.
I don't know if you caught this, but if you look at the ankle of Vince's jeans, you can still see the crease from where they crease. He's got the weird crease in the middle of his pant leg. I don't know why he does that on his pants.
God. Nobody that creases their jeans deserves trust. No one irons their jeans.
Just past the point where McMahon looks over the edge of the ring, and God,
he looks like murder incarnate. Like he does that with his slacks too, like his business pants.
Yeah.
He's got the weird fucking crease in the middle, and I'm like,
that's different. I mean, you can pleat some slacks, not jeans.
Yeah,
jeans.
They're pleated, and I'm like, what
why?
What animal are you?
Did your mommy not teach you how to properly dress?
Well, I'm thinking from that era because my grandfather would always crease his jeans before he got too old to give a fuck. So I think that's just like a generational thing.
So I think we're about to have a run-in on the WrestleMania show, not ours.
Oh.
Oh, and actually, we're going to have a run on the show. How fucking weird was that? There it is.
It's Mike Kolb.
And Roddy Piper.
Title of Frank's sex tape.
Oh, God.
Why no video, Mike?
I'm getting there. I just plugged my laptop back in, so it's all syncing up.
Roddy Piper just ran out. Here at 19.
Nice. Roddy Piper was at 19?
Yes, he was.
He interfered in the McMahon-Hogan match.
Can you really interfere in a match where there are no rules?
Yes. Because you're still participating, you're interfering in the match. You're not supposed to be there.
There we go. There's my video for you.
Oh, God. Cold Dwight Schrute.
Cool.
You're going to have to make a new one for Henry, though. That says,
Henry definitely.
Have you seen my red stapler?
Matt Leavitt was very hung up that Henry is very John Wayne Gacy-ish in his wood paneling.
I didn't design the inside of this bunker.
I just watched that documentary on Peacock. It's pretty chilling.
It's fucking crazy creepy.
I gotta set my DVR for Sling to set these A&E biographies to record, because I actually might be in the Piper one.
Well, there's a story behind that.
No one asked either. That's weird.
Well, that was my way of asking.
A&E
I
Piper
just said,
biography.
hey, I might be on a Roddy Piper biography in A&E, and everyone's like, okay. Nothing? No.
From this WrestleMania?
No. Well, actually, yes. They actually wanted me on because I was here.
Lucky.
But
What?
we ended up not. So, okay. So I was, my first Patreon ever, I was in the Legion of Who with Sean Mooney.
Oh.
And he had sent out like a notice they were doing a Piper documentary. Because initially, this was before they were doing the series. They were just going to have the one. It was just going to be Piper. And they wanted like people from Mooney's podcast to call in like a radio show. So it was Mooney and another guy. It was like supposed to be a radio show. And we were calling in as guests talking about Roddy Piper. So I talked about my WrestleMania 19 experience. And then I had talked to Sean briefly on the phone and through some DMs and stuff. And I told him that my daughter's name was Piper. But I never told him that she was named after Roddy Piper, because she's not. But I went with it because he brought it up. It's like, oh, isn't your daughter's name Piper? I'm like, yeah, I named her after Roddy. And I had to sign a waiver from WWE shortly thereafter. Because I gave him a picture of me and Piper, me wearing my Roddy Piper kick-ass flavored bubblegum shirt, and then her wearing my Hot Rod shirt. So we'll see. I'm not sure. Oh, here
that
comes
would be
Sylvester
so
Grenier.
cool.
Oh, I should probably be watching this with you, shouldn't I?
Yeah, well,
That
might help.
We'll throw you in.
Matt wasn't, so
Yeah, real quick. So we're missing some people. Where'd Matt go?
Matt feels he embarrassed himself and left.
Okay. Where's Carl?
Carl BRB'd, and that was the last we saw him.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm drinking this Angel's Envy that Carl gave me, and I feel like I could use it to clean the wheels of my car. Holy crap! I am like, I'm a vodka guy. I am occasionally rum. That's about it. Well, I don't beer, but like when Carl brought it in, he's like, if I remember right, you love bourbon. I was like, okay, I'll just go with it. I won't be mean.
My fault.
It probably was. He actually said something about you at that point. So, while this is, we're watching WrestleMania 19, right?
Yeah, right.
Why is it not popping up when I search for it?
Like Peacock is dumb and broken.
Oh wait, okay. What do you want, Frank?
I was going to say your name popped up tonight on Rebels Happy Hour.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
I'm sure
Over the top
pops up a lot when Rebels involved.
Well, they were talking about the hot tubs.
Yeah, they were discussing hot tubs when I popped in.
She owes me so much stuff. Rebel does to get that going, and she hasn't gotten me anything.
I don't remember.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now.
What was said?
She mentioned the hot tub thing, and she's like, "Who's that guy? That guy?" And Paulie B's like, "Oh, you're talking about Mike Kolb." Yeah, he's gonna help me do that. I was like, okay.
Maybe I'll follow up with her. You know, TJ, it's your last episode, so I felt like we should do something fun.
Okay.
Is that well, real quick? Can I get a time stamp?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
I also have a bottle of Angel's Envy here next
time
to me.
Tramp.
Also, Mike. 238, 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
15, 16. Boom. I'm right on there now. Man, leg drop.
Are we going to do a shot, Mike?
Of this shit?
Yeah.
God.
I saved mine for the end of the show because you know what happens when I drink whiskey right out of the gate.
Carl's not here. You could change it up.
No, that would mean I have to go back upstairs.
I know your wife has a beautiful Willamette Valley.
Were you raiding the fridge when you were there, Frank?
No, I bought his wife some wine because I was thanking her for letting me invade her house, but it never happened because she went and had a baby.
That wine, where did it come from, Frank?
Willamette Valley.
Where the hell is that?
Or is it what is it?
Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon.
I
had given Frank that information.
Yes, I had asked him. I didn't just say, yeah, Willamette Valley, because I know where that is.
Final episode for TJ, so I feel like we should do something a little special. And the good news is, since this is your final one, we won't piss anybody off no matter what your answers are. And if we do, well, you won't be here next week to take the heat.
Very true.
So I have a couple. We haven't had really an Ask TJ anything in a while. So
we never have.
So, well, you were drunk every time we had one.
That's true.
So I'm just going to start off with.
I will tell you exactly what's on my mind when I'm drunk.
Well, I'm going to give you. Well, I'm going to give you a couple of easy ones. So first, I would like to ask TJ, who was your favorite guest to have on Top Guy Theater during your tenure?
Efren.
Wonderful. Okay.
It's
Anything
stick that close.
Now, what about remove the guest, favorite topic or episode or whatever to watch on Top Guy Theater? What was your favorite?
I love that. Before I go into that, though, I should preface that when I say Efren, it's not even close. Efren and I have gotten very close as friends since then. So, I mean, if I took Efren out, it would be like Barat, Adam from Bama, like those guys, all solid dudes. So, I mean, I'm not shitting on anyone. It's just Efren and I are really close friends now. Anyway, favorite episode we covered.
Halloween Havoc. Come on.
We're still watching that. So
yes. Wait, what's that, buddy? Yes, Halloween Havoc 1998 is still going on.
AWA Team Challenge Series was pretty goddamn bad.
Yeah.
But that's why it was so much fun.
What about Super Clash with Pondwater Dave?
Super Clash 3, and then we watched 2 with the Ninja Nazis.
With the Ninja Nazis.
Which is excellent. I will say, man, that's tough. That's a good one. I would say, for conversation's sake, my favorite one was WrestleMania 18.
I like it.
That was a good one. I thought that was one of our better ones.
Who was your favorite co-host?
Oh, Lord.
Well, I have to tip my hat here. There was only 2 guys that have not missed an episode on this show, and that's Frank Bruno and Carl. So strictly from a dependency standpoint, it would be those 2.
Yeah.
Conversation starters, no. Well, I mean, one-liners is Henry's, and it's a runoff. Like Henry, it's not even close. I would say conversation starters would be Carl if he can keep the question within 38 seconds. Because he had a tendency to just kind of wander off after a while. But Mike, you're up there for that. Shit, you've hosted 2 of these shows. Brandy's really good about telling me about stuff about wrestling I didn't know because I don't watch it. So I always appreciate that. Antonio is just a dirty old man. And he's younger than I am.
Accurate. All right.
But yeah, I think that's pretty thorough.
Next question. Least favorite co-host.
Oh.
Do I have to answer this right
I'll
now?
get my pills while you answer this one.
I think
well, actually, real quick,
I'd
I'd like to point something out, actually, because you made a comment about Frank, and I think I need to double down on that. True story. Frank has never gotten stoned on Percocet and missed one of your shows. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
God.
Wow.
That's true.
God, that was a bad day.
What?
Yeah. I got like 6 fucking phone calls and text messages like, have you heard from Frank? Like, motherfucker, I live 12 hours from the man. Why am I your first text? Call Antonio or Henry. They could drive over to his house.
So
That's what Mark Nelson said. Mark was like, tell Henry to go get in the car.
TJ, so my lower back was bothering me.
This was just last Monday, by the way.
It was this past Monday, yeah. And I
awesome
took a Percocet. My mother has Percocet. I don't know why. Well, I think I do know why, but
Frank just admitted to a felony. He took somebody else's prescription opioid. Go on.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought
I also checked the neighbor's mail.
I thought I know it's drowsy. It makes you drowsy, but I thought I'd get through the drowsy thing. Like I gave myself like 4 hours before the show, thinking I would be all right by the show, and I fell asleep, and I didn't wake up till the next day.
He slept for 17 hours.
Yes. Yep.
Pretty good.
See, I can do that without Percocet, Frank.
I almost missed my COVID vaccination.
True story. Frank's dad was like, "Did you take one of my pills?" And Frank was like, "What do you mean?" Frank's dad was like, "Every time I take one of my pills, like an hour later, your mom's got a headache all of a sudden."
So my least favorite co-host, I won't name names, but I will give clues. If you go back and watch Top Guy Theater from episode 1, only 3 of the co-hosts that started are not on the show anymore. One of them is Nick Mills, who just faded into oblivion for reasons we never understood. He just kind of walked away from the show. The other 2, they would be 1 and 2.
Got it. Oh, I already know. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Carl's not here to defend himself, but okay. Okay. Now this next question is kind of a curveball. I want you to guess the answer. So before I joined here, I spoke with Mrs. TJ. And I said, think of all the wrestlers that you know of, anybody TJ's ever shown you or talked about. Which one reminds you of TJ's penis the most?
Oh my God.
Was it? You took the goddamn punchline right out of my mouth, you son of a bitch. So I was like, is it, The Rock? Stone Cold? Is it the Dead Man? I don't know. Is it Val Venus? She's like, somewhere between Hornswoggle and Dink.
I'm actually proud she knows Dink.
So TJ, have you explained to the fan base what you're going off and doing next?
Not to any, exact details. Actually, fun fact: we are actually recording our first episode tomorrow.
Best of luck.
So that should be. I've already written the notes out for episode 2. So
nice.
We got.
No,
this is going to be fun.
I'm kind of confused on how you guys do episodes, because I thought all you guys did was watch gay porn and give alternate commentary.
So what we do?
The tape machines are rolling. We're desperately out of time.
Oh, I'm never desperately out of time. I got plenty of time afterwards.
Oh my God.
But we just get what were those biker magazines back then? Easy Rider.
Oh God.
We just get those, and I read the articles, and then that's the end of the show.
So
you can't see anything. It's audio. So
TJ, you were at this show, right? So what were you feeling in this moment? Were you just just jacked right now?
I was rock hard.
Yeah. Were you rocker? Were you pulling for Rock or Stone Cold?
Probably Austin, because this was in the middle of the Rock Hollywood thing, and I just found the Rock unbearable during this time. Now I will say, during this entrance, again, none of us in the audience know this is Austin's last match.
Right.
None of us have any clue.
It's funny now looking back at the way he's when he first came out from the curtain, you could tell he just feels like shit after hearing the stories you've heard about what happened the night before.
Yeah.
But go on, sorry.
Oh God, yes.
On his vest, there's OMR there below the skull.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I knew what that meant. I did not know that's what it was used for, though. I thought it was like, oh, this is the trilogy. This is the end. This is going to be the last Austin Rock match. No, this is the end of Austin, which I did not see coming at all.
Oh, I see the OMR now.
What is refresh memory? What does that stand for?
One more round. I just saw my big fat fucking head in the audience. I will say, the only guy I never got to watch from this era that I regret was Mick. I never got to see Mick Foley wrestle. But knowing that my first show was Austin's last, and this was also my only opportunity I got to watch The Rock, like, it kind of blows my mind still.
I mean, we got to watch The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, The Undertaker, Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Brock nearly kill himself, Kurt Angle.
Before he was Suplex City and that goofy shit.
I got to see Rock in a Brock in I'm not making this up. So Triple H tore up his quad, right? So before he came back on that faithful Monday Night Raw, he had some matches. So I was in Springfield at a house show. Triple H was there, but Brock Lesnar was defeated that night by Lance Storm
in the dark.
I heard that. Yeah.
In a house show.
Wow. Well, I'm assuming they were getting Brock ready, like they're trying to get him used to timing, and
I was just looking back on it. Looking back at it, I'm like, shit.
I read a Twitter thing that they said there was only one wrestler who's ever beaten Steve Austin, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, and somebody else, and it was Lance Storm.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I will say I was very lucky to have gone to some amazing shows in the Attitude Era. I mean, I got to see Mick. I got to see Mick get thrown through a Hell in a Cell and go through the ring. I mean, it was.
You were at No Way Out?
Yeah, No Way Out 2000. Yep. It was
live from Providence, Rhode Island.
That was live from Hartford, Connecticut. So I was lucky. I will say this: I never got to see like Hulk Hogan. I like Hogan in his prime back in like the late '80s, early '90s. Yeah. Like I never got to see that.
I would have loved like WrestleMania 3, 4, 5, 6 to be in the audience.
Oh yeah,
for Hogan would have been amazing.
Yeah, like what the hell was that?
Cole. Cole is surprisingly limber. He's just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, so I did get to see when I went to Nitro in '98. I like Hogan. I don't think Hogan didn't perform, but he was there, so I got to see like Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was pretty cool. But I was a WWF guy, so I saw. I mean, I was at Backlash the next month after this show for Goldberg Rock.
You were at a Nitro, but you were not at Spring Stampede 2000.
No, I wasn't. Turd 316.
I mean, I almost went to the Raw after this because we went to the airport. We were leaving the next day, and the airline had double booked. And so we might not have been able to get home that day. So I was like, Mommy, if we get stuck in Seattle, can we go to Monday Night Raw?
She was like, Raw was in Spokane the next night?
It was nearby.
Yeah.
It was either Spokane or Tacoma, one of those.
I think it might have been Tacoma. Yeah, it was in the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah.
I need to find a list. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, teacher.
No, you go ahead first.
Nope, you.
Okay, so I remember sitting at the airport.
Anyways, I was gonna say.
You're a dick. I was at the airport after this, the morning after the show, and was tired. When I was, it's spending 4 days there. I was looking forward to going home, and I'm like just reminiscing about the show we just watched, and I look up and I go, "Is that the Undertaker?" And here comes the Undertaker walking down. This is before like private bus days. So he's walking down the airport, and you're like, "Holy shit, that's the Undertaker!" So I'm like, I am not going to get up and ask the Undertaker for an autograph. I will just let that one scoot. So About 5 minutes later, I look back over. It's the Big Show. I go, I'm going to get up and ask the Big Show for an autograph. So I get up and I walk over to him and I go, hey man, like I know you're trying to make your plane or whatever, and it was all the SmackDown guys were leaving because Raw was in.
Raw. Oh, right.
And I go, I don't mean to like bother you, but I'm not trying to make a big scene, but like, can I get your autograph? Like I just saw you at WrestleMania last night. And he's like, yeah, could not have been a nicer guy. Had a pen or a Sharpie, whatever, signed my shit, my program, and left. Next guy I see is Paul Heyman. And I walk up to him and I go, hey, same thing. Hey, I know you're busy. I know you're trying to catch your plane to your next town. Like I saw you last time at WrestleMania, big fan. Would love, like, I flew up here from Indiana for my 18th birthday to watch Celebrity. Love if I get your autograph. Heyman looks at me and he goes, you got a pen? I go, no, I don't have one. I want to be like, I'm fucking 18 years old. No, I don't have a pen on me. But I was just like, no, I don't have a pen on me. And he goes, well, I guess shut a luck, kid. Just keep walking. Oh. So the Big Show, super nice guy.
Wow. Paul asshole.
Heyman, exactly.
It's those downstate New Yorkers.
Yeah, he's exactly what you would think he would be like.
The cameraman got laid out.
And here's the thing. I have no ill will against Paul Heyman. Because if it was the opposite, I probably would have said the same thing.
That's okay. Henry has enough dislike of Paul Heyman for all of us.
Wait, what is this now? You don't like Paul Heyman?
I think he's an overrated hack.
In what way? How is he overrated?
To properly answer that question, I'd have to talk about modern wrestling, and modern wrestling makes my head hurt.
What does Heyman have to do with that? He's just an advocate.
Roman Reigns doesn't need a fucking mouthpiece. He can talk. He's physically intimidating. Let Paul Heyman go do something else. Let him find a small. That doesn't fit to me. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Would you say that Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Ole Anderson could speak on the mic?
I would. Well,
why did they need JJ Dillon?
Every good heel stable needs a manager.
Very good.
And when you have like 2 or 3 people together, group, someone's the leader.
It's like every good whore needs chlamydia.
What?
Well, if you're with Antonio, it's a super clap.
I said just like every good whore needs chlamydia. I'm just saying.
That's not true at all.
That's not nice to say about Mae Young, and I demand you take that back.
Oh, I was talking about Janet Reno.
But so let's talk about this, Henry. So you just
said, never mind.
Janet Reno, you know who Janet Reno is?
The
I don't know that name right off the top
Attorney
of my head.
General of the United States?
I don't know. I just threw it out there. I'm
Under
sorry.
which president?
Bush.
Which one?
I think it was Bush because I think she no, it was Clinton. You're right. So let's talk about this, Henry. You just said Roman Reigns doesn't need Paul Heyman, yes?
I did say that.
That's what makes Paul Heyman effective. That's what makes him effective. He doesn't need to be there, but he is. He's leeching off Roman Reigns, just the way he was leeching off Brock Lesnar before him and CM Punk before him. None of the 3 needed him. He's just leeching off of the 3, leeching money, leeching power. That's what he's doing. That's why he's effective.
And catching most of the hate. Not all of the hate, because there are probably still a lot of people that would hate Roman Reigns as a heel without Paul Heyman. But he catches a lot of heat.
Yeah. Paul Heyman's a heat magnet.
That's what he does. That's what he's there for.
What he's been doing since like 1987 when he debuted with what was he, the new Midnight or the original Midnight Express with Randy Rhodes and some other schmuck? Actually,
yeah,
no,
some other.
I think it was Randy Rhodes and Dennis Condrey.
This is this spot right here.
With Heyman, he's hung around for how long now?
Shit, he started in WCW in like what, 1989, 1990?
Well, technically, he started in AWA.
Really? I didn't know that.
87, yeah, 86, 87. So he's done that forever.
Almost like you took my water.
He took over promotion in 1992 or
3, 4.
That was just a hole in the wall. One of the last bastions of the NWA territories left, and turned it from Eastern Championship Wrestling to Extreme Championship Wrestling. Started ECW, which lasted 7 years, which should not happen for a regional promotion. Jim Cornette made it 4, and Jim Cornette's one of the best wrestling minds ever. He made it 4 in a hot wrestling territory in Tennessee. That doesn't happen. 7 years is outrageous for a regional promotion to last. And now he's been here, except for what, a 4 or 5 year window where he was doing the Heyman Hustle thing, and he's been back ever since. I'm surprised he's still there, to be honest with you.
Right? I'm like, how does Stephanie put up with you?
from what I read, no one likes him backstage.
No,
there's a big shit disturber, so I don't know how he's still there. Somebody
finds him useful, and because
Roman Reigns has the clout. They're like, no, if he says no, I need Paul Heyman. Guess what? He's gonna get
the same with Brock. Brock was like, tell him, Paul.
Yeah,
it was very much a relationship akin to Paul Ellering with Hawk and Animal, where he did a lot of real life things for Brock.
Jimmy Hart and Hogan. You know, it's one thing to be a manager on the screen, but what people don't realize is a lot of those times that dude is their manager, like legit.
Handling their travel, scheduling their media, getting their shit like they're a runner.
I actually, to change the subject for just a second, I was doing a little research on this place. It's now called T-Mobile Park in 2021.
Yes,
you know what the highest attended? Go ahead.
That's because the Safeco Field, Safeco had a 20-year lease, and when it came up last year, they didn't want to renew it, and T-Mobile is the one who won the bidding war.
You want to know why? It's because the Mariners suck.
Hey, real quick, what the hell is Safeco?
It was an insurance company.
Yeah, it was an insurance company.
It was an insurance company.
It is an insurance company. It still is.
Okay.
But they don't sponsor buildings anymore.
In terms of attendance, what was the highest attended event that took place at Safeco Field?
WrestleMania, 54,097.
I was actually surprised to discover that. That record has stood for almost 20 years now.
You want to know why? Because we put seats on the field.
Yeah, but don't they do that for rock concerts and stuff?
They don't have concerts there.
Really? Well,
they don't.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're playing baseball during the outside summertime concert season.
So I want to talk
about this. It has a retractable roof. There's a roof on it. It's still open air, but it's got a roof on it.
I wanted to discuss this earlier, and I kind of got sidetracked. So when you walk, the stadium's in a really weird spot in Seattle.
Yes.
Like when you walk out of the gate, it's surrounded by a homeless village. It's bizarre.
By what?
And a homeless
people.
See, because I've been to Seattle and I've driven by both. But it was because Safeco and CenturyLink are in the same area, right?
It's been cleaned up in present time, but in this era,
okay,
it was central.
It was way outside the city, though. I would have to say.
No, the city has grown around it.
Yeah, it's grown around it.
When they put it there, it was kind of just like industrial park, homeless people. Not a lot of like trying to flag down a taxi after this show was fucking nuts.
I rode the bus.
But you guys stayed in downtown Seattle?
Yes, I stayed at the W.
I stayed at DoubleTree in Tacoma.
I felt like it from where because my restaurant is right in the middle of Seattle. It's right by Pikes Peak, and I felt like
the stadium.
Right. So I was like half an hour away from it.
Yeah.
So
but back in this era, it was still industrial, homeless people, panhandlers.
Again, at this time, the same surrounded by a rail yard.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then it was like a homeless village. It was weird. And then
now fast forward to now, it's full. The city has grown around it.
If you walked up the hill to the base of the I got in the ring and had him whoop the shit out of him. If you walk up the hill to the top of the overpass that the interstate was on, that's where Questfield was where the Seahawks play. This is that close. They're that close to each other.
Yeah, that's right. Well, CenturyLink. That's what it's.
Yeah, CenturyLink.
That's what it's called now. Back then, it was Questfield.
And they just built that. Well, actually, they just built both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right, right.
You guys hear the Seattle Supersonics might be coming back.
What?
Yeah.
That means there'll be
You think they'll finally stop bitching? No, they will find something else to bitch about.
No, that means that Seattle will have 4 major franchises.
I cannot tell you how much it bothers me that Oklahoma City has a basketball team and Seattle does not.
It bothers the people of Seattle, too.
I can't tell you how much it bothers me that Buffalo has a shit hockey team and a professional football franchise, but no baseball team.
Why would Buffalo have a baseball team?
They did back in the 1890s.
Oh my God!
And I say that the Toronto Blue Jays actually spent their entire season in Buffalo last year because of the pandemic. They couldn't go back to Canada to play their games or go back home, so they were stuck in Buffalo. Back in the 60s, they proposed a third league because somebody wanted to put a baseball team in New York to replace the departed Brooklyn Dodgers and New York. It was a New York Giants before they went to San Francisco.
Yes.
They proposed 8 teams for this new league. 7 of those cities eventually got baseball teams, except Buffalo. And I stand by my assertion even now that you could put
Henry. Maybe there's a reason why Buffalo didn't get a baseball team. Did you think about that? It's because your city sucks.
Even little Boston has a baseball team.
But your baseball team's like 155 trillion years old.
Yeah.
You had baseball in the 1890s, but they didn't stick around.
They weren't the Boston Red Sox until the early 1900s.
Guys, let's not pick on Henry and Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo did just sign the GOAT this offseason for the Bills. Mitch Trubisky is heading to Buffalo.
Oh shit! Shit!
Somebody has to hold the clipboard. And by God, he's going to do it so good.
Somebody has to hold the clipboard. Tyrod Taylor looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans. So
Buffalo's gonna make him a wide receiver, a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I don't. Do you guys see Deshaun Watson actually playing this year?
I don't think so. I mean, I know some of the cases have been dismissed because of some reasons. I've kind of stayed out of it until it shakes out and actual journalism is done on these articles.
I know that the NFL has begun its own investigation. I think they're going to let him, and I apologize in advance for saying it this way, they're going to let him swing on the vine, so to speak, until we get closer to football season to see if this resolves itself on its own. If it doesn't, I don't see how he plays, at least not to start the season.
So I think the biggest thing there for Deshaun Watson is, last I checked, none of these are criminal cases. These are all civil, which that's a big difference in the NFL. He might miss a season, sure. He'll be back. He'll probably be wearing navy and orange because the Bears will still end up going after him or something. But he's not. I don't see him playing. I see him missing some games this season at a minimum, and we'll just see where it goes. And I think we're about to see the end of this match.
I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. Adam Pac-Man Jones was suspended for an entire fucking year based off of allegations. So that should happen to him too.
But also, he was a giant.
How dare you ask for consistency?
Oh, I agree with you there, TJ.
But even then, Deshaun Watson has publicly said he doesn't want to play for the Texans anymore. if the NFL were to suspend him for the season, who cares? I'm getting what I want, even if I'm not getting paid because I'm suspended. Whoop-de-doo.
Russell Wilson also said he doesn't want to play for the Seahawks, but he's got re-upped.
Yep.
Because Chicago didn't want to pull the trigger.
What has happened is several of the women that have filed civil lawsuits against him, it turns out they were practicing as massage therapists without licenses, which in the states of, I think, Texas and I think Georgia or Alabama is the other one, that's a crime. And so by filing these civil suits, they have admitted to committing a crime. So some of those suits have been dropped.
Not to cut away from Deshaun Watson talk, we'll go to in a minute. But for those of you watching the show with us, what you just witnessed was The Rock talking to Austin.
I was going to ask that question, TJ.
Yes.
If they've ever discussed what they were talking about.
They won't.
Yes.
They won't say.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
A&E,
Yes.
in the A&E biography, they did.
Exactly, they did. So they basically, the summarized version of it is The Rock thanks him, tells him he loves him. Austin says, "I love you too," and they both make a comment on how your two grown men are saying "I love you" to each other in front of 50,000 people. But yeah, they do it in the A&E biography. They talk about it.
That's a first because they've never talked about that before.
This is.
I'll have to watch that.
This is not weird yet in the audience.
Mm-mm.
I will, because like, goddamn, Rock's talking a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you the exact moment it starts to get weird. Because there is a moment where, like, what is it? Well, him leaving through the audience. Oh, he didn't leave through the audience. Fans out there. But there is a moment where, like, all right, what's going on now? Because this has been way too long.
Mm-hmm.
But to the Deshaun Watson thing, I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen this to this extent, this severity anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a team that's going to play him right now in the climate of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's why, I think he's definitely, well, as of right now, you're right. Halfway through the season, I could see him playing
for a playoff team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you can justify it. If you're the Lions at 4-8, you can't. Oh, we're going to Deshaun Watson. Like, for what? We're already bad.
They got younger at quarterback, though.
They did. They got.
Has it started to get weird by this point, TJ?
No, still not weird.
I'm actually more concerned about how the Rams are going to play because now they've gotten significantly older.
There's two. Well, I mean, they just got Matthew Stafford, who's like the Dan Fouts of our generation. So
nice reference.
You're welcome. Maybe maybe it has been now. It's starting to get weird because, like, I maybe it was because of how much attention they were focusing on him when they were leaving. Because we're like, they've been showing him a long time.
Well, it was the neck issues here, right?
Yes.
Well, he also had a nervous breakdown the night before.
Yes, he did.
Caused by essentially an overdose of energy drinks.
Overdose of energy drinks combined with a shit ton of coffee. Because if you take in that amount
about in the A&E biography.
If you take in a huge, because when you take in a whole bunch of energy drinks, you're drinking a ton of caffeine. So if you drink coffee on top of that, your heart is gonna like try and be like a hummingbird in your chest.
Incidentally, fun fact, that also happens.
Why is Austin walking the ramp? Austin doesn't do that. Now it gets weird. Because he's saluting the audience. That's something he does. Like coming back from the ring.
Did you guys think something was up at this point?
We're like, okay, something's up.
Now I'm like, I was younger. I was going to be 13. But I was like, this is not normal. Like, it kind of it's one of those things that makes you go,
Just saw myself again in the audience.
What's this?
It's really nice when you're the only Big Evil shirt in that section of the crowd. You're pretty easy to spot.
Unfortunately, there's no way you'd see me because I was all of about maybe 5 foot tall. So short of me being in the front row, you're not going to see my ass.
All right. BRB, peeps.
There are two things worth noting about what you just said, Brandy, about the energy drink thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you chase Sudafed with a pot of coffee, it has that exact same effect.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yeah,
yes,
what are you doing?
I am. As a matter of fact.
I like to make a granddad's old cough medicine. You know what I mean?
Well, I wasn't feeling good one day, so I took some Sudafed thing and I break up my sinuses, and I ended up going to get somebody coffee. Well, I misunderstood what they wanted, and I brought them back a cup of coffee that was so sweet it started to melt my teeth. So we tried to fix it. They made a pot of coffee, and we combined the abomination in the cup I got from Dunkin' Donuts with the pot of coffee they made, and we still couldn't get it down. I would go to the doctor's office that afternoon for something. They take my blood pressure not once, but twice. The second time, it spikes them bad enough that they call the ambulance to take me to the hospital. So we're running through my day, and they asked me, did you do anything unusual today? Are you feeling all right otherwise? I said, my head's hurt a little bit today. I think I'm stopped up, so I took some Sudafed. The 4 nurses at the doctor's office, the 2 paramedics that took me to the hospital, and the triage nurse that I dealt with first at the hospital all said the same thing when they heard that. And when I finally got to the hospital, I looked at the triage nurse and I said, well, if we all agree that it's a Sudafed, what the hell am I doing here? Can't you just give me something to stop the abnormal heart rate and bring my blood pressure down and let me go home? I'm not dying. I hope. That was a very unfun day.
That irony in just saying that was a very unfun day.
I got to take a ride in an ambulance that I didn't have to pay for. So
that's good. I mean, those things are expensive.
Stephanie McMahon in 2003 looks so much different than she does now.
Mm-hmm. Well, she hadn't had any kids yet. Or no, actually, she does have the boobs here.
You just said something about kids and them boobs.
Yes, I said she hadn't had any kids yet here. She didn't have her first child till 2005. A woman's body changes drastically after you have a baby.
While we were talking about Deshaun Watson, I pulled up an article on Wikipedia about the team that inhabits Safeco Field, the Seattle Mariners, and I learned something I didn't know before tonight.
Oh, boy.
Do you know what team holds the longest playoff drought in the 4 major professional sports leagues in the United States?
Is it the Seattle Mariners?
It is. It had been the Buffalo Bills, but I think, based on the way I read the article, that because the last time the Mariners went to the postseason in Major League Baseball was in 2001, they hold the longest drought of any of the 4 major leagues in the U.S., and I found that to be surprisingly interesting.
Well, Seattle sucks in terms of major sports, so.
I mean, the Seahawks have won a Super Bowl.
Do you know how many years the Seahawks languished in just disgusting
And didn't the Super Sox win an NBA title before they went to Oklahoma City?
I don't follow basketball, so I wouldn't know. But the Seahawks used to be the joke of the league.
And next year, the Kraken will make it to the Stanley Cup Finals to lose to the team from Washington, D.C.
Hope not. I mean, their logo's cool.
That was what happened with the Golden Knights. Their first season, they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost to the Washington, whatever the hell they call the hockey team.
Capitals.
Thank you.
Capitals, that's what I thought.
I mixed that up with the Nationals. I know that. I'm almost positive that's the baseball team that used to be the Montreal Expos.
That's who Bryce Harper used to play for, and now he plays for the Philadelphia Phillies.
That's so weird to me because the Mariners. Sorry, I had to go pee. There were several years that the Mariners had Ichiro and all those guys, and I was like, I swore they made the playoffs at least once.
According to Wikipedia, they haven't made the playoffs since 2001.
Actually, it might have been 01.
Yeah, the last time they went to they won the AL West in 2001 and have not been to the playoffs since.
Was Ichiro on the 01 team? No, I think even like 06.
No, because Ichiro was playing in like 03.
Was he?
Yeah.
All right, I'll look this up now.
I admit that surprises me because I would have thought that would have fallen to another NFL franchise, but I think
because like the Vikings have made the playoffs for a lot of
the
years.
Browns, so have the Lions,
so have the Bengals.
Ichiro debuted for the Mariners April 2nd, 2001.
Yep.
So yeah, he was on that team. That's surprising.
That's why they went to the playoffs. Ichiro.
By the way, his career batting average is .353, which is stupid. That's bananas.
Mm-hmm. That's so bananas. That's banana.
No one can bat .230 now. And his career average is .353.
Real quick, TJ, how's Mrs. TJ doing?
She's doing better. She's still having dizzy fits here and there, but she's doing exercises and they gave her medicine that helps with it. So she's
Is
good.
she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She had a vertigo incident on Thursday, which is actually why
not fun.
It's actually why I'm not doing this show from the new and improved Steven studio, because I'm watching that for my wife. Although last night I was up until 2:30 in the morning laying 9 sheets of drywall and then mudding. So
that sounds like a rip-roaring good time.
Oh, I had a blast. I sweat a lot though, but I have 5 sheets to go and 1 window to cut around. And
that's
also
a lot of drywall. Is your house like a castle?
No.
It's pretty big.
That's what she said?
Henry, to answer your previous question, the Seattle Supersonics did win 1 NBA championship. I will give $20 to anyone who can say what year it was, except Mike Kolb, because he's going to Google it.
I can. Want me to?
When was the last? Answer me one question. When was the last year they played in Seattle before they went to Oklahoma City?
2008.
Okay.
It was actually Kevin Durant's rookie year. He played his rookie year in Seattle.
That's a fact I didn't know.
1995?
No, that was the Rockets. So the 90 was the Pistons. 91, 92, 93 was the Bulls. 94, 95 was the Rockets. 96, 97, 98 was the Bulls. 99 and 2000, I believe, were the Lakers.
The World Series. Wow, the World Series.
The Spurs are in there somewhere too.
The
Not
NBA
until the O's, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, 99.
99?
Yeah.
Henry, the Seattle Supersonics won, I think, the year Frank was born.
Really?
1980?
That's close.
79?
There you go.
Yep.
81.
79.
Aha.
The city of Rochester, New York actually has an NBA title. I know that at all because it was a headline in the Democratic Chronicle yesterday. They won it back in 1951.
I was doing some research for my news show, and I will give you guys kind of a glimpse into what episode 2 is going to be, because I had to find this out. Because we cover a lot of sports in that show, which is why I think people are going to like it. But did you know there was a hockey team until 1981 called the Colorado Rockies?
No.
Yeah.
Do you know who they became?
No.
The Avalanche?
No. Actually, the Avalanche are the old Quebec Nordiques.
Oh shit. Okay.
Didn't they become I want to say Carolina.
No,
that was Hartford. That was Hartford.
Or were they the failed Atlanta franchise?
No, the Atlanta was expansion. Nobody moved.
Were they the team that went to Nashville?
Okay, hold on. You guys are getting way too current. Okay, the Colorado Rockies moved from Colorado in 1981.
Okay.
They're the Seattle Kraken.
That's it. You're right. You got it. They're still a team. They're still currently a team. They're in the Eastern Conference. I never knew they were a different team before this, though. I thought they were always this team.
Must be the Boston Bruins, because...
No.
I know.
What?
Really?
It's not the Boston
Bruins. Okay.
Let's say there's no way.
Eastern Conference. Is it a Florida team? The Florida Panthers?
Florida Panthers are very new. It's a new team.
All right. I don't really.
This was 81.
Oh, okay. I know now.
One of the New York teams, maybe?
Close.
Oh, New Jersey Devils?
Yep, that's it. The New Jersey Devils used to be the Colorado Rockies.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I knew there was
you
a
want to go
team
from
before
Colorado
that.
to New Jersey?
For the same reason why you'd move from Seattle to Oklahoma City. Money. No,
Correct me if I'm wrong. The name Colorado Rockies now belongs to the Major League Baseball franchise.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually happy that Seattle's going to get the Sonics back because they should have them. The NBA is not right without the Sonics.
What is so? But here's my question: does the Oklahoma City Thunder franchise still own the rights to Seattle Supersonics?
Yeah. So the way that would work is if somebody were to come in and form a team in Seattle, if they want the Sonics name and records and all that, they would have to buy the rights back from Oklahoma City.
But if they buy the rights,
usually happens.
If and when that happens, is it going to be like it was with the Cleveland Browns in the NFL, where it's considered that the Cleveland Browns have continuously existed since 1999, but their franchise history from 1946, I think, from the All-American Football Conference to 1996, when they suspended operations and everything went down to Baltimore and became the expansion Ravens.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't an expansion team. They weren't an expansion. They just moved.
They just moved.
The Browns
for legal
technically
continuity
became
purposes,
an expansion team.
Yeah, the Browns became an expansion team.
But they still have the history pre-1996, and though the Browns that have existed since '99 are an expansion team, technically, the continuity of the history of the Cleveland Browns franchise flows as if that team was still the same team from 1946.
Exactly.
Yes. Exactly. They just cut out. They're just cutting out the section that is the Baltimore Ravens, and they get that piece, and everything else is the Browns.
So in turn, it looks like the Baltimore Ravens are the expansion team, when in fact it was the Browns that were.
Exactly.
Yes. The only time I can recall in recent sports history that this has become an issue, like somebody wanted to rebrand a team to an old name and then the rights name became an issue, was the Charlotte Hornets.
Yep.
That was a mess between the Pelicans and the Bobcats at the time when Jordan bought them. And when it became the Hornets again, that was a shit show, but eventually it went through.
Well, I don't know if did you guys hear about some of there was a fight between the Texans and the Titans, because the Texans wanted to wear the Houston Oilers uniforms as a throwback, and Tennessee, the Titans said, absolutely not, that belongs to us. And there was even talk of them wanting to be called the Houston Oilers, and Tennessee will not in any way. They will not.
I did just watch a video on the history of the NFL franchises, and that was part of the Texans' creation, is they wanted to be the Houston Oilers, and Tennessee was like,
nope, that's us. So
we're already are.
Well, let me just tell you this: if the Tennessee Titans wear a throwback uniforms, it's the Oilers. They'll wear
You'll
the
come up to
darts.
Buffalo, you'll take a 32-point lead, and then you'll blow it monumentally, just like you did in 1993.
I love him.
What are you, the Atlanta Falcons?
I'm so sorry. Do you really want to talk about this right now, Henry? Because I will skull fuck you with the Music City Miracle.
You beat us in a playoff game and then couldn't win the Super Bowl. You became the Buffalo Bills of the year 1999.
Well, you're talking to me about winning Super Bowls 4 in a row?
I mean, you went to 4 and you lost all of them.
Oh.
Frank.
And you're talking about the team that was actually looked dominant in the season and was actually considered a contender to knock off Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you guys actually went in to play them, somebody forgot how to play football. And it wasn't Patrick Mahomes.
I don't believe I'm making this argument because Tom Brady is my antithesis. But how many rings does Patrick Mahomes have after going to his second Super Bowl?
One, which is still
because
more than
Tom
you got.
Brady is still the best of the best in the NFL, and Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, choked harder than the Bills did against the Chiefs.
Henry Elway's 2-3.
Weren't there like 6 quarterbacks that got drafted in the draft class with Elway?
Yeah.
Wasn't Elway the only one of them to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Was he?
Yes.
I thought there was another one.
No.
I remember Elway, Marino, and Kelly. Marino never played in one. Kelly couldn't win one.
Todd Blackledge, Tony Eason went to one in 20, got smoked by the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one was Ken O'Brien.
Mike.
We played for the Jets, and that's all I need to say after that.
I think Mike had a point here.
Go ahead.
I have 2 things to say, and then I unfortunately have to go. But are we just going to let it flow by that was Henry and Frank argument, and then Brandy offended Frank and was just like, "Listen here, motherfucker, it was not that way." And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I look over and Frank's just like looking at his phone,
I was listening. It was good. I'm watching the match too.
Second part of this is, unless I'm mistaken and things have changed, Henry, you risk upsetting Frank when he's driving you to Jacksonville in a few weeks. So there's at least a better than 60-40 chance Frank leaves your ass at a fucking rest area. I can see
but I'm gonna have to learn how to give trucker head so I can go home.
Trucker head.
Well, I got good news for you. You're gonna know because that's gonna be your fee just to get in the car with Frank. So you're gonna know pretty well.
Roadhead.
I was told explicitly in the contract that I have that was Antonio or Brandy's responsibility, not mine.
Oh, is Brandy going with you guys? Is Brandy going down too?
Not with us.
I'm going to Jacksonville. I'm not going on that roller coaster ride. No.
We almost got Henry's new segment there.
Yes.
Trucker head with Henry.
I'm still debating submitting that tip to the Drug Enforcement Agency. Frank gave me his license plate number like an idiot. So I was gonna submit a tip that there was gonna be
Mike, hold on a second. Mike. I thought you would have figured this out when my car was parked in your driveway, but I didn't give you my actual license plate number.
You shouldn't tell me that because I could pull up the camera footage from my security thing.
No!
You are a clown. You're a clown, sir.
Oh shit! I didn't think of that.
Shit.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
Now I'm going to submit the tip for sure and say that there's 10 pounds of black tar heroin taped to the gas tank of Frank's car.
They're going to tear my car apart, dude. Don't do that.
And then I'm going to say here's the best part too, is I'm going to tell them the person in the passenger seat's hiding something up his anus. So then Henry and Antonio can fight for who gets the back seats.
Yes, literally.
Frank, make sure you bring some Blue Chew because if they're gonna end up giving me a strip search and a full body cavity
search, are you gonna fuck one of the cops?
No.
Is that your way out?
But it'll be like when I go to the airport. I'm gonna take 2 Viagra, and if they select me for random screening, I'm gonna demand that they pat me down.
What the fuck? Oh,
I miss being on this show. Frank, I'm coming back. I'm coming back as a regular. That's it.
Okay.
Next week,
All
I'm a regular. I'm coming back.
I
miss
don't know
this.
if that's genius or if that's like more Gacy behavior on your part.
Gacy behavior. Nothing Henry. Well, we don't know this for a fact, but I was going to say nothing Henry done is Gacy behavior, unless he's.
That's not nice, Frank.
Nothing
I love
you do is
Henry.
Gacy behavior.
I love Henry, but the way Henry looks is he's meant for like a breaking news bulletin. Okay, like.
Oh my God.
I love you, Henry,
Oh,
but
my Lord have mercy.
Oh
I
goodness.
trusted my own hands to give myself a straight shave, and I could grow in this middle part of my mustache. I'd look just like Tony Schiavone. If Tony Schiavone weighed 400
you would look
pounds,
just like
and I
Tony
was shorter.
All
I need is a Lois and about 6 dogs.
That being said, TJ, salute, my friend. I can't believe I'm going to take a sip of this dog piss.
Fat bastard drank all of my iced tea.
You did.
Best of luck on the new show. If you're having guests, actually, you're probably not having guests, so I won't even ask. Frank Bruno.
Yeah.
Started chapter 2 of Top Guy Theater, bro.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And we're gonna go from here. But I told TJ today that he needs to come back from time to time. He said he would.
Absolutely.
Don't worry.
Any show that TJ is on, I will be sick that day, but he could just take my place. That's fine.
All right.
But no, seriously, TJ, congrats. Awesome job what you've done so far. And looking forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you, buddy. When we
And
go
then
to
maybe-
the Cubs game?
When do you want to go?
Preferably when your wife's not having a newborn.
Well, hopefully she's not having another newborn for a while.
That's great. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm actually gonna be driving by your house this week.
Again?
Oh, are you coming over to see Jamie?
Well,
oh my God.
Now you mentioned it.
Secondary, yes.
Let me tell you how she got vertigo. No,
The old jackhammer.
no, that car I sent you a picture of, I have to drive to Cleveland to get it. So I'm gonna be driving straight down the toll road all the way to Cleveland.
Was that a Chevelle?
Yeah, 69 Chevelle.
Yeah, okay.
A 69 Chevelle.
You showed it to more than just Matt and I, you fucking picture whore.
I sent it to Frank.
I thought we had something.
You got it first.
That's okay. That's fine.
I mean, I thought it was good on gas.
True story. I only sent it to Frank for one reason. That was like, I randomly now find myself having to text Frank, so I know he's not stoned on Percocet again. So it's like, what am I going to send Frank this time? So I sent him the car, and then I time it, and if he responds within 5 minutes, I know he's not stoned.
More for the people in the room than the people listening. This picture of this Chevelle he sent us, 69 SS, baby blue. I'm sorry, not baby blue, royal blue with white racing stripes. It's gorgeous. I'm excited. I called dibs. I want to drive it at least once.
I'm not gonna lie. I know how to drive stick, but I've only driven.
I know how to drive a stick.
You want to know who knows how to drive stick? Mrs. Stevens, Mrs. TJ.
Yeah, that's why.
She does not know how to drive a stick.
Oh, trust me, you're just not giving her the right stick to drive there, bro.
She will ruin a clutch in no time fast.
Well, that's because she's not using her hand to shift the gear, if you know what I mean. No, so every car I've ever driven that stick was has a hydraulic clutch. Obviously, older cars are mechanical clutch, so that's gonna take some getting used to. And then it's been a long time since I've had to drive a stick and been like on a hill, so it's like things like that make you a little nervous. Maybe I'll stop by on my way back from Cleveland and just roast the tires in front of your house.
Please do not. Actually, they won't know you're there for me, so it's fine. Go ahead.
Oh, they will, because I'm gonna actually like pull it back into your driveway and roast them leaving your driveway. So this way you can see the tread marks leaving.
Damn it.
So
That Mike Kolb.
But seriously, yeah, well, let's figure out a time to go to a Cubs game, and yeah, we'll make some fucking magic happen.
All right, love you, buddy.
Back at you, Pookie, Frank, Brandy, Henry. It's been fun. Henry, no matter what you do not, and I mean do not reach into Frank's pocket, even if he asks you to during that road trip.
I won't.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I love pocket pool.
Awkward. All right, take care, guys.
Bye, Mike.
I'm going to ask a stupid question, and this is my naivete. But what is the difference? What I didn't realize the clutch was hydraulic or mechanical. What's the difference?
So hydraulic clutch has fluids and other mechanisms, specifically
hydraulic fluid.
Thank you. I forgot the word. To actuate the pushing method, or God damn it!
To make it easier to push.
Half a glass in, I'm losing it. Yeah. So, well, not only that, but it also assists in the shifting of the car proper. Mechanical is all based on chain linkage.
Oh.
Because in 1969, they were not depending on hydraulic pressure for cars. That was not a thing. Even in small applications. Cars, obviously hydraulic pressure in cars is not that big of a deal. It's very small amounts. But intense pressure. Right.
Okay. But I'm wondering if I've probably never driven a car with a mechanical clutch then.
It's not. So with mechanical versus hydraulic, in my experience, because my own experience also, as I drove for the military guys there, I drove a Deuce and a Half, which is a giant truck. 2.5 tons, so it's called a Deuce and a Half. And it had
that makes sense.
It had a 3 on the tree, which is a mechanical shift. It's a linkage based, and it's like way more slop. It's not as precise, so losing yourself from gear to gear is much more common and easier.
Oh.
Hydraulics much more specific and on the money. Linkage gives you this, because again, it's not. So common cars now, when you have a stick, and again, sticks are, they're almost dead. No one drives a stick anymore.
I love them.
They don't even make them unless you request them.
Which is sad, yeah.
Which is stupid, but yes. My first car was an 87 Bonneville. My second car got me was a 98 Metro because it was a stick. She made me drive a stick.
I specifically, my first 2 cars were not standard, but I specifically bought a 2002 Dodge Neon Sport because it was a stick. Yeah, here's the death flip.
In the die.
Should have to drive a stick. Everyone should have to drive a stick.
Then I bought a 2013 Dodge Dart. That was still to this. I still can't believe he's alive. So far away.
All of us in the audience, obviously we know he's alive, but we all think he's dead.
We all think for a good, I want to say 30 to 45 seconds, the crowd is just
at the
like,
least,
oh my God, he's dead.
Anyway, so after that, for like 3 or 4 years, I drove a 94 Ford Ranger I got out of the junkyard. That was a stick. And I drove the absolute dog shit out of that truck. Never changed the oil on it one time. Ever in 4 years. Never changed the oil.
Before we leave Safeco Field, I was doing a little bit more light reading while I was watching the match, engaging with you guys. In 2001.
Henry, can you drive a stick?
No, I can't.
God damn it. Fucking worthless asses.
I love it. I think you have a lot more control of the vehicle.
You do, 100%.
I'd love to learn someday, but...
And here's another thing. Here's what my mom told me why it was important to learn how to drive a stick. If you were in an accident, and for some reason the only way out was for you to commandeer an ambulance, and it was a stick, you could go.
When I bought my latest car, my
it's a
20,
1 in a 3 billion probability it's going to happen.
Right, but still.
Yeah, you can tell watching it right here. He's completely gone.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the lights are on,
Nobody's
but
home.
No one's home.
So when I bought my newest car, I said, "You guys have these in sticks," and they said, "We don't even make them anymore. You can't find a Camry in a stick."
I don't know what it's like for any other brand. I know for Dodge, if you want to knock $8,000 off the sticker price, custom order a stick, because they know no one else is going to buy it if you don't.
What about that was when I bought my Charger. That was one of the things I was really disappointed. They said we don't make those in stick, and why don't you why wouldn't they make a fucking Dodge Charger in a stick?
They do not.
Really?
It's a dying breed. No one knows how to drive a stick. I'll give you a prime example. When I was in college at Purdue North Central in 2014, whenever it was, let's say, I had the Ranger. And like the kids in class, I say kids, I was like 28, 29 at the time. But the kids in class were saying like where they keep their keys. Like their car keys on them. And I said, I keep mine in the ignition. They looked at me and they go, are you serious? I go, yeah, mine are in my ignition right now. I just leave the truck in gear so it doesn't roll away. And they go, well, aren't you worried about getting your truck sold? I go, can you drive a stick? And they both of them go, no. I go, no, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I go, also, if they did steal it, they would get 20 feet down the road and realize third gear doesn't go in, and they would turn around and bring it right back.
Yeah.
I had to floor it and go from second to fourth because third gear there was the pin sliding out from the shift pin, so it would just jam into third. I had to go into fourth instead.
My next vehicle, I hope to be a Jeep Wrangler, and I want it in a stick shift. I don't want it any other way.
So my wife and I have had the discussion on what our kids' first car should be, and my trucks come up, which I don't hate, but I
the one you have now.
Yeah, but I kind of want to give it to my dad because he's never had a nice car. Even to this day, he drives a 91 Grand Cherokee. Like, it's a piece of shit. And because he's always spent. Now, I mean, my mom and I have been divorced since '94. So I mean, like, he lives by himself. He's a bachelor. He spends his money drinking and cigarettes. Like, that's what he spends his money on. So, and he runs a garage out of his buddy's house, an auto garage. So he spends his money on tools and shit like that. So, I mean, like, he puts his money in the right place. I'm not going to say he doesn't spend his money correctly. He does. He reinvests it back in his business. But he's never driven a nice car, ever, that I can recall. So I think when I buy my next truck, I'm just going to give him my Ford.
Wow.
And by then it'll be 15 years old, but it will be the newest car he's driven by a long shot. And, but we're going to get a minivan for my wife this year, probably a Honda Odyssey.
Mm-hmm. Those are nice. My cousin Melinda has one of those.
Yeah. We've kind of fallen in love with them. We think that'd probably be at least probably Piper's first car.
It can handle 3 boys going school, hockey, karate, dance class. Very sturdy vehicle.
It's just funny. Like how the times change and how like parenting changes your frame of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because 3 years ago, if I would have said, hey, let's get a van, she would have laughed me out of the house.
Yes. Yep.
And she wouldn't test drove one of these Odysseys just out of like, oh, it's here. Because we were looking at Subaru Ascents. I mean, and those are beautiful, practical cars. Love them. I have nothing bad to say about them. But the lot she went to, they just so happened to had a Honda Ascent, like a 2020, was a used one. So she drove it. I'm at work while she's doing all this, by the way, because I'm not home, so why not spend money? So I get text messages. I just test drove an Odyssey when you look into this. I just test drove an Odyssey. I'm in love with it, nonstop. And then she test drove. It wasn't Chrysler Aspen, I think, was one of them. And then there was another one. There's another van. There's a Toyota. I can't remember. But
Sienna,
I know
think it's called.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it was. But she loves the Honda Odyssey. Loves them. They're not even a sponsor of the show. Maybe one day they will be. But she loves the shit out of the Honda. So we're talking maybe, because we're not going to get shit for her car's trading value because it's a piece of shit. So maybe the Traverse will be Piper's first car, but by the time she's 2. So by the time she's ready to drive a car, it's
talking
gonna be
14
a
years.
20-year-old car. Yeah, it's gonna be a 20-year-old car. Like, that's a lot. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. All right, so here at the end of the show, what are your thoughts on WrestleMania? I mean, can you remember another time where the Undertaker was the second match on the card of WrestleMania? That is preposterous to me. I didn't think that was the case at all.
I mean, that's how stacked this card was.
Was it? Or was it how bad
that
the build
match was just shitty.
Well,
I mean,
they had better
it's
matches.
Supposed to be the Undertaker and Nathan Jones against Big Show
and A-Train.
But Nathan Jones gets hurt. So that's why you only see him for a minute here at the end of the match. So I would say actually the build is just terrible. Because, I mean, listen, even here at 19, see, Undertaker went, what, 11-0 at 18 against Flair?
Mm-hmm.
Or 10? Was it 11 or 10?
11.
So,
11,
so this would have been 12. So they were aware of the streak.
I think by this, but yeah, obviously by this point they were.
But I mean, even as good as we talked about how underrated Booker T and Triple H was. You can't tell me the Undertaker match was, at least in mystique wise, was on equal playing field as Triple H and Booker T, because it was not.
18 was 10-0. Sorry.
Right. So this was 11.
This was 11. Yeah.
Still, again, they're aware of the streak. It's a thing. And again, you can't tell me the Undertaker match at WrestleMania, even here in 03, has less mystique than Booker T and Triple H. But
yeah, it was probably not the best for him.
I don't think it's the card that's stacked. I think the story was terrible. I think that's why. And Nathan Jones was a giant flop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Had all the looks in the world. 6'9".
Couldn't fucking wrestle.
Chisel out of granite. Could not wrestle a lick. Nothing. He was John Nord reincarnated. Heist.
TJ, I just fucking that whole berserk, that whole Huss thing, wasn't that from Bruiser?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bruiser did that.
Yeah.
TJ, I just wanted to tell you that it's been an absolute pleasure. And
well, you're jumping the gun here, friend.
What? I'm trying to thank you for.
We're still giving our final thoughts.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
I got a weird feeling of nostalgia and feeling like I was 13 years old again and sitting in the chair and trying desperately to crane over the tall people because I couldn't see for shit. And it was way better than I remembered it being. I mean, I remembered it being amazing.
Again, I know people hate me because, at least on Twitter, because every time they would say greatest WrestleMania conversation, I always say 19. I'll put this card against any of them. Again, when the opening match is Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title, you shitting me? Again, and the matches we missed on this show, just skipping to hour 1, we missed Edge and Christian. We missed Benoit and Rhino. We missed Hardy and Benoit. We missed Jazz, Victoria, and Trish Stratus, which, for my money, is the top 3 women's matches ever.
Absolutely.
We missed all that. And the card was still this good to watch, even with those, 6 matches in 2 hours? That's outrageous. That's ridiculous. So
yeah, I mean,
against any of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best, but...
No, I won't say that either.
It's a damn good show. It's a damn good show. Yeah. I mean, I go back and can look at, I thought 22 was great, 21 was great, 24, and then of course I go back to 4, 5, 6.
Isn't that funny? Is we've seen like what 6 matches since 20 that have been like these have been great. Every other WrestleMania, like greatest WrestleMania of all time conversation, is before 10.
Yeah, but that's where the nostalgia hits for us. I mean,
is it? I mean, look. I mean, so let's discuss this. Is it that, or is just the storytelling that much better from 1994 and before?
Well, I think you and I talked about this when I was in Indiana. I mean, you think about this story that was told for Hogan Savage.
A year.
Right, exactly. You don't see that shit
Savage
anymore.
Warrior, or I'm sorry, Hogan Warrior. Year.
Yep, you don't see that anymore, and I think
you can't do it anymore, and that's sad. And for anyone that says that, again, you know what? I'm not even gonna bring it up. That's my last show. I'm not gonna be negative on AEW, but because I could have been very easily just now. But
I will say, of all the WrestleManias I've ever seen, my all-time favorite WrestleMania match to me is Austin Michaels from WrestleMania 14, because we finally get to see the culmination of something they've been working towards since King of the Ring 1996.
Yeah.
Which Austin finally becomes
Solid
champion.
Point.
He goes over Michaels, and
Solid
it where the Attitude Era had been slowly building since the Montreal Screwjob. The moment that Austin becomes World Wrestling Federation champion, it's out of the gate and it's off to the races, and WWE never looks back.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd say the glass shattered on the Attitude Era, and we're walking through hellfire and drinking beer and flipping the middle finger.
I would agree with that, and that was a nice segue, Brandy. Yes, though not knowing, this is the first time in several years I've watched WrestleMania 19. I legitimately did not know until the other day when I watched the A&E biography special on Steve Austin that this was his last match, because I wasn't that big into wrestling in 2003.
We didn't know either.
I remember not seeing him on TV for a while. He comes back as Eric Bischoff's co-general manager.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, maybe he's just not wrestling for a little while, and then he disappears. My 13-year-old brain didn't connect all the dots to say he's retired. Knowing now what I didn't know then, arguably, while I think the best WrestleMania match I've personally ever seen is Austin Michaels from 14, of any match that I've ever seen of Steve Austin's, I would definitely say that the final match from WrestleMania 19 is definitely in my top 3 of any match I've ever seen of Austin.
Well, and do yourself a favor, Henry, after we're done here, go back and watch that with the sound up, because calling that match is JR and the King.
Yep.
And that, whenever JR calls this Austin match, it adds to it. So do yourself a favor, watch that again after we're done here with the volume up, with JR and the King doing commentary. It adds to it a ton.
Next to Gorilla and Bobby, it's JR and King for me.
See, there's 3 for me.
Who are 1 and 2 for you?
My number 1, far and away, it's not close, is Gorilla and Bobby. It's not even a discussion. 2, again, kind of shows my age, but also, I mean, it kind of stands the test of time. Also, it's JR and Bob Caudle.
Oh no, I can see that from WCW. Yeah, right.
3 is JR and the King, and here's why. I love everything except 1993 about Jerry the King Lawler. But I would have appreciated a little bit more serious heel at all Lawler when he's commentating than joke heel. To me, like, Lawler unintentionally, I'm not saying he did it on purpose, took the piss out of a lot of stuff that he's called because he's joking about it as opposed to just calling it. And that's why I prefer JR and Bob Caudle, because you have JR doing the play-by-play, Caudle's doing the color, but Caudle's doing the color from like a sports perspective, calling it as an analyst of a sports game, as opposed to JR being a pervert. I'm sorry, as opposed to King being a perverted old man, which again had its moments, certainly, but like when I'm watching, what would be an example? And of course, Lawler could turn it off and turn it on. I'm not saying that either. There were matches he adapted to, sure, and called it straight. But when I'm watching, let's say, Mankind Big Show at WrestleMania 15, winner gets the main event as the referee for the title match. Lay off the jokes, bro. Just call Mankind and Big Show. I don't need the jokes in between. I will wait for Frank to come back for this next part, but
I will say that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will say that Ed Free Shows has started doing a thing where JR and Tony have started calling old WWE matches.
Yes.
I'll be honest.
They just did Savage Steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
Which was an excellent retelling of that match. But I'll be honest, there is a part of me that wants to see them, even though Jim Ross was there for WrestleMania 19, there's a part of me that wants to hear Tony Schiavone on a lead call for WrestleMania 19 for that Rock Austin match.
Oh my God.
You know what I would want to hear Tony call more? And again, this is just a personal thing. Again, I think Rock Austin 3 gets a lot of attention, and rightfully so. I'm not going to say that they don't deserve it, but Angle and Lesnar does not get the love it deserves.
No, it doesn't.
Angle and Lesnar is an all-time title match.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I would love for Tony to call that title match. And again, I'm not casting aspersions. I'm not adding to the Schiavone. He Schiavoni'd it line. But Schiavone always shined brightest in high pressure title matches. And I would love to see Tony call Lesnar Angle more than Austin Rock. Is Austin Rock 3 in my top 5? Sure. Yes, it is. But I'd much rather see call Lesnar and Angle. Because the match is unbelievable.
I can't disagree with that assessment.
So here we are. Episode 30. We finally watched episode 19. Well, I'm sorry, finally watched WrestleMania 19. And it's come time for me to say goodbye. Again, I will go back to the first Zoom call I ever got to do was Rebook Hog Wild 1996 with Eric and June. I first met Carl and Lauren at that one, and I met Frank. God, if it wasn't the next weekend, it was one shortly after that with JR. And you shared your story about your bout with Bell's palsy with JR. I fell in love with you instantly. Henry was on this show. Matt was on this show. Mike was on this show. Phil was on this show. Brandy was on this show. And all I ever wanted to do was create, because this show came out right at the peak of the pandemic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was a rough time for everyone. You didn't get the chance to hang out with people and do what you would normally do, and there was a void to be filled. And my only goal was ever to, provide the access for you to hang out with friends on Zoom and watch wrestling with people and provide commentary and talk about it, things like that. And again, over the year, God, what's it been? 9 months now?
Yeah.
8 months, 8.5 months.
You guys are going to take a journey with me because I don't want to break this up, and my dog's outside. So enjoy the journey with.
Some of the guests we've had, Barat has been unbelievable. Some of the cultural things he got to tell us, like the casket match, he knows what that was.
Yes, that was to this day one of my favorite conversations.
That was a great conversation. That's like top 5 for me as well. Efren.
Yep.
We just did an episode about WrestleMania 7, but we did one with WrestleMania 9. And hearing him just open up and tell us about him as a person and what it was like growing up, not only as a wrestling fan, but a gay wrestling fan, and just taking us on that journey and getting to know him better was, I mean, honestly, that 3 hours is probably my favorite ever, because Efren just opened the doors and let us in.
Yep.
No pun intended. I say that because he would love that part of the joke. Paulie B, phenomenal. Timmy C was great. Rajiv. Who else have we had? Adam from Bama.
Oh, we have Rocco.
Andrew Hermes. Rocco.
Andrew Hermos. Yeah, Hermes. I just call him Hermos.
Hermos. Old Andrew Hermos.
Nick Mills, he was with us at one point.
Nick Mills started one of the OGs from the show.
Adam O'Neill.
And then just flaked off for whatever reason, never got drunk and never came back.
We certainly need to give our love and respect to Phil. I mean, he hasn't been here the last couple episodes.
So I'm a little tipsy, so I'll give my opinion on this. I know Phil and I have had our difference of opinions the last few weeks, and that's fine. We're both adults.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry he feels the way he does, that I'm moving on. It's certainly, if I didn't have a job, and I'm not saying this to be demeaning, I'm just laying the lines down. If I didn't have a job that required me to work 44 hours, 2 weeks a month, and that's not taking classes or working overtime or anything like that. If I didn't have 2 kids, add a list of things. If I didn't have any of these things, I would, if I didn't have a new podcast I was going to, that I'm very excited about, that researching every episode takes 4.5 to 5 hours. That's just the research, not writing the format.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't have any of those things, if one of those things was missing, I would say here. But that's not the case. And I'm very excited for this new venture. I'm ready to the lack of sounding stupid, I'm ready to spread my wings. And I'm ready to see what I can do. And I will never forget. And I want to make this very clear to everyone in this room, everyone who's ever been on this show, anyone who's listening. I will never forget, without this show, I wouldn't be getting to do what I'm getting ready to do.
Yep.
And my only hope is, by keeping the show alive, one of you will get the chance to do what I'm getting ready to do. If I can be the ad-free show's Nation of Domination and just spin off stars whenever we need one, then God damn it, I think I've accomplished my goal. The format of having a platform for friends getting together and watching wrestling shows will continue. I will still pop in from time to time. And I'm going to tell you right now, the first show I'm going to watch is Extreme Rules 2014, because I was there. And it was terrible. It was awful. It wasn't like WrestleMania 19. That show was great. This one sucks. It's going to be way better for much different reasons. But I want the platform to continue. I want the message to continue. And I can't think of a better group to leave it with than with you guys. And I can't think of a better host to leave it with than Frank.
I appreciate
Frank,
that.
I know you will continue the message of this show, which is, again, we're not alone. Even when we seem like we're alone, we're not. We're all together. We're all a group. We're all a family. Let's watch some shows together and talk some shit. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
I know you will do that. Henry, watching you since you debuted on the show way back when, and I don't think you said fucking 8 words that entire episode. I'm not going to lie to you. After that show was over, Carl and Frank and I got together and we said, Henry can be somebody if we bring it out of him. And we made you a cast member. And now here you are.
Yep.
All this time later. And I know this show's in good hands with you. Please do not stop being yourself.
No.
You're the king of the one-liner. Just keep doing that. Maybe put wallpaper up.
I actually had I not hurt myself the other day, I was actually thinking about trying to bring the maps downstairs, at least for this back wall.
Please bring the maps downstairs.
Bring back the map.
God damn. You're going to have a segment on the show called Map It. Bring the goddamn map downstairs.
Or figure out a way to digitally synthesize it in my bunker here.
No,
my bunker.
No, just bring them down. Bring the real. We want the real thing. Brandy, I was introduced to you episode 12. I don't remember what show it was we watched together.
Was it Halloween? It was Barely Legal. ECW.
You're
Barely
right.
Legal.
There you go. We watched our one of 2 ECW shows, Barely Legal 97. And we did our show, and I got off, we got done with doing what we were doing, and I got 3 text messages from 3 different cast members as soon as the show was over. Bring Brandy on. We need a female voice. She's great. And here you are. And you've not disappointed. Carl, not here. We don't know what happened to him. Either Buddy murdered him, or he might have taken a shit and just fell asleep.
That has happened before.
It has happened before. That is not a joke. That is not a rib. That happened. Carl fell asleep on the toilet. Carl does my chat pack and this show. Carl's a former newsman, everything else that he's done. Impressive resume. Great mind for creation and things of that nature. He's just that guy, like, I want to do this. I want to encapsulate this moment. And Carl's, I already know what to do, and does it. He's that guy. He's a great asset to have on the show. Antonio, where do I start with that guy?
Well, you start with the back end first.
Oh, my.
Never saw a tank top we didn't like.
Irony, I'm carrying on in your honor, Antonio.
Yes. The truth of Antonio is because people forget. I have a bonus episode where we watched the Raw before one of our shows we did. We watched Go Home Raw, and it was just him and I. And that's one of my favorite shows that I've done here, because I thought Antonio and I were. It was literally just 2 dudes sitting back and watching Raw. It was great.
Yeah.
Tony's a very knowledgeable wrestling fan, and he's already declared he's going to be the hairiest cheerleader of my new show, and I'm going to hold him to that. So There's that. But he's a passionate guy, nice guy, and super glad that Antonio is going to be able to continue to have a platform that he can be himself on whenever the occasion arises, because he works a lot like I do. But I'm glad that he's got something that he can, because Antonio's one of those guys, like, he's a star in the making. Once you find the right string and start to pull on it, you're gonna have something with him. Matt Leavitt, Lord, he was on earlier tonight. He left because he got embarrassed. I'm not sure why. Apparently, he did not see my episode of the My Chat Pack from Jacksonville. He did not even get, but that's. Oh, I should plug his stuff. So he's been doing a charity for
cancer.
Oh, thank you, but it's a specific type of
lymphoma.
It's lymphoma.
And he is auctioning off the Eric Bischoff jacket he won at the Halloween costume party from after his shows for I think the starting bid is $6,000. You can own the Eric Bischoff AWA blazer.
Yeah, it's beautiful too.
It's worth more than that, by the way.
And it probably smells like him, Lauren Yaffe.
Lauren Yaffe, get a little bit of that brute on you, a little bit of but my God, I mean, I've never met anyone who thinks about everyone else more than Matt. Like, it's borderline silly.
God, he does. Yep.
I mean, there's a reason we call him our resident superhero.
Yeah. His wrestling knowledge, again, like Brandy introduced me to things I was not aware of. All Japan, New Japan.
Yep.
That's all him. Lucha Underground, my lord, he's all over it like a bag of wet shit. Like, he's just on it. And like, I don't know if I ever told you this, Frank. When you guys came down, he was supposed to be a part of that trip and didn't come.
Yeah, I knew he was supposed to be, yeah.
And he asked me for my address, and I was like, yeah, but what do you need my address for? And he goes, I'm going to send you guys a gift for us to be. I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. Like, we're buds. Like, it's fine. We understand. He said, no. I'm going to send you guys your own Penta mask.
What?
Yeah. Now, granted, he hasn't shipped them yet that I know of. But his plan was he was going to ship, while you and Carl were here, he was going to ship us our own Penta masks for not being here.
Wow.
That's what kind of a guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's silly. Like, the value is way off kilter. My company is not worth a Penta mask. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. I am not that interesting of a guy. Okay, as Frank can now attest to.
No, stop that. I had a blast with you, and we just sat around and watched wrestling and went to a video game store. I had a fucking blast.
We did, and I still have not hooked up my GameCube yet. I'm upset about that.
Jesus Christ.
I know. But Phil Jackson. Phil and I have had our disagreements recently, which is fine. We're adults. We're allowed to do that. But I will say about Phil that he was a Rottweiler when it came to this show. If he had an idea and he wanted to do it, goddamn, he was going to do it. And again, no credit taken away. He was the one that booked Thunder Rosa. That was him. And again, I know we've had our differences, and that's fine. I hope Phil listens to the show and continues to listen to the show with Frank in charge, and hope he considers coming back to the show now that I'll be gone. And I hope that he gives my new show a chance, because I think he'll enjoy it with the sports heavy lean on it. It's Say by the Pod, but heavy sports. Jesus Christ, episode 2, I just did the research on. God damn, there's a lot of baseball in there. but listen, I have nothing bad to say about Phil Jackson. I don't. I could. I should. I don't. I admire the man he is with his foster kids. I admire the jobs he has, well, at least the amount he has. And he was on the show, like, yeah, he had his moments where he would get a little excited, but don't we all?
Yeah, of course. Yep.
And I don't know how we got to this point, but if you don't like me, which is fine, you're not the first, you won't be the last. At least continue listening to the show to support to everyone else. At least consider coming back to support everyone else, if not me. That's all I can ask for. I think I've hit everyone. Am I missing anyone?
Nope.
Mike Kolb.
Oh, Colby, baby.
Mike Kolb. Jesus Christ, Mike Kolb. Where do I begin? Found this guy. How did I even find Mike Kolb? I don't remember.
Well, we met him over
Pack.
this. Yeah, I was gonna say he was on Chat Pack with us one night. Yep.
It was on my Chat Pack. We had him on Top Guy Theater the next weekend, and we found out we live 45 minutes from each other. And Mike is one of my best friends now.
Right.
He is. Do not give Mike Kolb your address.
Nope. Don't do it.
But he is honestly he's one of the hardest ribbers you ever meet. But he's also got a gigantic heart of gold.
Ribs with love.
Mm-hmm.
And his ribs are fucking mean. I don't even know if I would say his heart of gold. His ribs are mean. Ask Henry. His ribs are mean.
Oh yeah.
But he will repay you in some way, form, or fashion after that. But
and if he's worried about you, he's gonna check on you.
Yes. Mike's another guy, very knowledgeable wrestling fan, sports fan, great guy, great dad, great husband. I know we've had several jokes on the show that he's banging my wife. He's not. Spoiler alert. It's not happening.
Spoiler alert, it's me.
It's actually Frank.
It was me all along, TJ.
It was me all along, Austin. But I guess with all that being said, thank you to Barat and Rajiv, Mark Nelson, and Adam from Bama, and Efren, Timmy C, Paulie B,
James Quello,
James Sorensen,
Evan
Polisher. Yeah, it was a good episode too.
Under Rosa, that was a great.
Under Rosa,
great
I'm
show.
sure I'm missing. I'm sure I'm missing a few, and I don't mean
Andrew Hermes.
Genesis was on here.
Genesis, Amy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Amy Vaughn.
Money Mike, Lawyer Mike.
Oh, Mike McClanahan. Michael Amend. I'm sure I'm missing a few. I don't mean to. Thank you all for being a part of this show. Being a part of its legacy, and it will continue without me. I will pop in from time to time, but it's Frank Bruno's horse now. So all I can tell you is my new show will debut May the 3rd. It's called Filter Free Popcast with myself, Timmy C, and Dave in the QC. We call him now Dollar Bill Dave after our weekend in Champaign. I wanted to call him DK Wall Street, but Dollar Bill Dave definitely fits better. We're gonna have so much fun doing this new show. I think you guys are gonna love it. If you like Saved by the Pod, you're gonna like this show. We're doing way less movies in TV, way more current events, newsworthy, like as far as in the news cycle events and sports. That's what we're leaning at. And actually, allow me to do this as well. Josh Odom will be behind the scenes for us, with Josh actually also one of our guests, did WrestleMania 8 with us. Josh is a great guy.
He is phenomenal.
Very smart dude.
Oh!
There you go. FFP, the world leader in disinformation. That's us.
That's awesome.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
So
I want that shirt. I'm calling it right fucking now. I want that shirt.
The website and the store will be open very soon, Frank. So you.
Oh shit! Oh, my credit card. I'm telling you, that's what we do on TGT. Get your credit cards ready.
Sure, get your credit cards ready.
On pwts.com, we have 2 T-shirts. One is Top Guy Theater logo, and one says TGT. Get your credit card ready.
I have to get that shirt
in the eBay format. So, this is it. It is more difficult than I imagined to have this show that was a dumb idea in June of last year and see it become this. And now I'm walking away. And I'm leaving the keys in good hands with Frank at the helm and you guys behind him. I have no concerns of where the show's going to go. I know it will only grow from here on out. And now that I've wasted everyone's time long enough, it's time for me to say goodbye. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. Until next time, we'll see you here on Top Guy Theater.